down.
Darkness. You open your eyes.
And it's us. What was that? Anyway, we're back. Last Saturday on Steel is for Men, what happened? Our party met at the village of Scala. You came together to save the boy Felix.
Thank you.
From a devastatingly altered form of the trials used to create witchers. After some investigation and a small amount of time figuring out what to do next, you decided to leave Scala to find a quiet place to finish the ritual needed to transform Felix. You settled on the bank of the Sodden River, and you risked your very lives to complete the trials for the boy, seemingly without incident, until Felix opened his eyes to reveal they were a deep, deep ember orange, red-orange at least, as if the eyes themselves were the center of a burning coal. And that's where we're gonna start tonight.
When did it become morning?
What do you mean?
It's so bright out now. It was dark when we got here.
It's pitch black.
What do you mean? No, it's not.
During the trials, you were given the mutagen of a draconid. Through your veins, the draconid lives on. Its life force, its fire prematurely snuffed out. But it runs through your veins, and through determination and grace, wield this fire. That is your ember eyes that symbolize your fate.
So I go over to like the riverbed and to look at my reflection in the water if it's still enough.
So the water you can find is still enough, but in this light you don't see color the same way. Your night vision is it's in greens and grays. So what you see is your face, but with these large, bright, glowing orbs in place of your eyes.
Oh.
And you notice when you look over at Kavas that it's almost the same thing. When you look at the others of the party in the dark like this, it seems, that they're just in subdued color, but Kavas's eyes shine bright as well.
They're not orange. They're just light.
At that,
Dragon's fire.
At that, you see Braum. Don't ask. Lean over and like grab a book behind him on the thing and start flipping through it a couple pages, and he stops and reads and goes, generally, with creatures of the night, they see in very flat colors. You're probably not seeing everything as it is normally. So, you'll see things differently during the day when your eyes can actually get light.
So I can see in the dark?
Yes,
Like a
very
cat.
much.
Here's this way.
Yeah, very much.
So it's still night.
Quite. I suggest you use your new eyes to find a safe place to sleep. You're all as tired as I am.
I don't really know where's a safe place to sleep.
In the back of my cart.
Kind of thought you guys would find that. I've never been here.
Neither have I.
You'll be safe in the back of the cart.
Okay. Where are you guys sleeping?
Against that tree.
On the bench in the front of the cart will be my plan.
I'll be taking the first watch.
Are we going in pairs or are we going in singles?
I'll stay awake.
As it is.
Wake me if anything happens. I'll curl up with Koi.
I will, I'll take second watch. So just wake me when when everyone else's is done.
Aye.
Wake me when you're working.
Sounds like a good idea. We have things to discuss anyway. And then I'll turn around and you hear me rummaging more again as I pull out a couple different bags that I kind of lay down as a pillow and take a few different canvases out as like some form of warmth. And then just you see me pull my hat slowly down, and I very quickly drift into snores,
Long day.
mumbling about not
Long
getting my
night.
midday nap.
Going to walk the perimeter of
Okay.
our makeshift last-minute campsite really quickly and just get a good lay of the land and make sure we didn't leave too many tracks or anything like that.
So, in the hustle of everything that was happening, none of you really noticed, I guess, that recognized would be the better word, that it is mid to late autumn. And though this section of Lyria is not known for its hard winters or anything like that, it is still quite cold here. The wind blows in a slight breeze through the night, just enough to knock the leaves from the trees. And that bite of cold is definitely uncomfortable, to say the least. Is anybody planning on starting a fire or anything?
I'm nice and comfortable.
I share the warmth with my
I thought
horse.
we did start a fire
How far?
near the riverbed.
I don't think we had time.
No,
Can't remember.
we jumped right to you.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
we took care of business.
The scene I set in my head had a fire going. So
Sounds cozy.
yeah,
That was your eyes burning.
you're right. You're right.
And your body. But, you know.
If someone wants to light a fire, there's camping tools in the cart,
I'll take care of it.
kindling and tinder stuff. Leave me alone.
Get some sleep.
So, I'll take a wilderness survival check from you then, Avery.
Tinderbox, that's
Thank
what
you.
I could not remember what it was.
14.
14? Really? Are we starting that already?
Yeah.
14,
That's next week's number, for sure. All right.
So we were gonna do last
14
week,
is.
'cause it was 14.
Oh, I think we
I
said
think
that
it
last. We
haunts
should just do
us
that every
because we
week.
never
until
Fourteen
we-
every
yeah.
week.
Pick it?
It's got to be something to do with like
Yeah.
the math
How
of
the
the
stats
game.
line up?
It's the
Yeah.
mojo, you know?
It's got to be, right?
It's like the orange properties in Monopoly.
It doesn't take you long to build a small fire and light it. And you even found a good enough spot to where the wind isn't just going to be constantly batting at the fire itself. And the heat helps. I mean, it's just cold enough that even 10 feet away from the fire helps. So, nobody's got to be huddled directly around it, but it helps for sure. Koi, although a loving and supportive horse, once the fire is lit, does just completely ignoring you, get up, walk a little closer, about 5-6 feet, then lay back down.
I begrudgingly follow.
How about you, Felix? Are you feeling particularly sleepy?
I'm gonna try,
Okay.
but I also slept prior to this.
You did
So-
sleep a lot, but you are also exhausted. There's this almost growing pains you're feeling in your arms and your legs, as well as your back, maybe. And you feel sore from like a hard day's work. You notice when you look at your hands that they're shaking almost uncontrollably, and you do feel exhausted, but your mind is racing. Your senses are just picking everything up. You can smell the wax that Braum used on his facial hair. You can smell Koi nearby. You can smell and hear the subtle crackling of the fire even from the 30 feet away you are here. It feels as if you're right next to it. All these things are just assaulting your senses, and it's making it difficult for you to relax. And then there's just this sort of pent up energy inside you as well. So even though you're so tired and exhausted, you might not find sleep. So who's on first watch?
I keep attempting to throughout
Okay.
the night anyway.
All right.
Just kind of lay there, when you just lay there with your eyes closed but can't sleep.
So the cam corner as everybody begins to bed down for the night, and they're still, for about the first half hour of your watch, most everybody's still awake. You start kind of getting into the habit of maybe walking the perimeter or finding a good vantage point. Unless drowners are an issue, the river here is particularly deep. You don't think that it's going to be much of a problem from the other side of it, at least. The water here is not still, but slow. And then on the other side of your camp would be the road that would head back to Scala. The road is not too heavily wooded. You'd be able to see anything coming from a fair distance away. Everything seems fairly quiet.
Well lit night.
Yeah, it's about a half moon, a little over.
I can't believe he made it. I thought that boy was doomed.
I am very surprised myself. What do you think that the implications are of this? A child and a woman as witchers.
I don't think anything about it. I think we need to make it through the night. I think there's people out there looking for us.
I'm sure that you're right. It's been some time since I've seen Paladin. I'm expecting word from the south, and I'm a little concerned that he hasn't flown to me yet.
Give him time, I guess. He always comes home.
That he does.
How are you feeling?
Still that sense of doom, I think. A little bit. But, like you said, we're just trying to make it through the night at this point.
It's one of those nights you shouldn't think about what comes next.
Agreed. I'm quite surprised that he was able to make it through, though. His fortitude, that's something, yes?
He's a strong boy. He needs to be.
I am curious, though. This keep that he was found in.
We'll have to ask the Witcher about it. I don't like the sound of it. I don't like the sound of any of this, but I guess it's not up to me. Guess none of us have a choice now.
Well, it's like they say, you can't outrun your destiny.
I guess they do say that. Doesn't make it true.
You think?
Just have to see. I wonder if any of them will actually sleep tonight.
I don't think I will.
Just wait and listen.
I think at this point I get up and I walk to the back of where Felix is sleeping and kind of post up at the back of the wagon.
Going to stay silent. I've had a very long day. I'm all spoken out. But I'm going to watch them very, very, very closely.
All right. Do me a favor, and the both of you, roll me an awareness check.
Am I still awake?
You are.
Do I roll one as well? Listen, I got pretty good ears now. You just told me.
You're not gonna believe this.
I bet I am.
20.
Whoa!
All right.
A crit.
He broke the fucking mold, kill him!
Well, he
Nice.
crit, so...
Heart's racing. It's been a long day.
You don't notice anything, but you're not sure what the distance is, but you do hear the faint, the lightest echo of a wolf howling, joined by a few others in the distance.
Just a standard type of thing we'd hear in this region. Nothing out of the ordinary. A wolf pack of some sort.
Oh, interesting.
My survival is a 11.
An 11. I actually think I want an education check from you.
Wish I could. Oh, also 11.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. You don't think it's an area that isn't supposed to have wolves. Wolves are very common in almost everywhere in the north except for Cadwin. Cadwin, it's only on the fringes. Cadwin has occasionally launches into these massive wolf cleansings. But here in Lyria, you haven't heard of anything like that, and you don't see any reason why there wouldn't be wolves in the hills and surrounding forests.
I guess I'll just perk up and wait. Listen for any other sounds of anything.
Okay.
Bow at the ready.
All right. So eventually, as the night draws on, you both at varying stages start to become pretty tired, to the point where you'll be fighting sleep just trying to stay awake. It might be time to wake up the next watch.
Did we have volunteers?
Yeah, it was us two. Well, yeah, wake us two up.
What do you want? Why are you waking me up?
So it's your
Still
turn.
dark out. Why am I
Shit. Alright. Was there anything to worry about? Any creatures of the night?
Heard wolves a while back, but
Wolves?
don't think it was anything out of the
Puppies.
ordinary. Probably just
You start to remove some of your armor,
Just not
Yeah. Yeah.
down to the padded garments underneath at least.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Done this a few times.
There are a couple buckles that are really hard to reach for you, though.
Braum, can you give me a hand?
Huh? What are you... I'm not your goddamn squire.
Why not? Just for a minute.
Oh. Fucking fine.
That one. Right there.
I walk over and I'm complaining the whole time as I help him unbuckle his armor.
All right. It only takes about a minute or so.
I'm pretty sure I've read some stories about it. Something along those lines.
Stories?
If they're the stories I'm thinking of, no. Keep those to yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of course. Seems we're going to be together for a little bit. Might as well be friendly and helpful, I suppose.
Always works best. Good night. Good luck.
Sleep tight.
How about you?
So I think at this point I have walked over to the tree where Avery is at, and I unroll my bedroll. And I've got my big, kind of heavy, deep hooded cloak on, so I'll pop that up over my head and just kind of snuggle in.
All right. The exhaustion takes you fairly quickly. You
Let's get the fuck out of here.
What's that?
I talk in my sleep, sorry.
Yeah, demonic, creepy voice, huh?
Whoa. Okay. Okay.
Right? That was disturbing.
Oh.
I'm
Anyway,
not gonna lie, I went, no.
you'd tried to keep yourself hidden as a mage, and there's this maybe frustration or annoyance or just all around stress that it lasted in Scala a grand total of an hour before people were banging on the door asking you for help. Seems to be a common theme. Everywhere you go, you end up in these scenarios where somebody needs your help, and the balance between revealing yourself and helping is really hard to maintain. But eventually, the warmth of the fire helps with the blanket and the bedroll just enough to where you find yourself starting to drift off, thinking about how not a half hour up the road is a bed you already paid for.
And a nice hot bath.
Yes. How nice it would be. But sleep does find you. Avery, you're pretty comfortable here. The the recent magics, the ritual did put you off a little bit. It's not something you normally would have jumped into in any way. And it's leaving a bad taste in your mouth. You feel like if Destiny was a person, you would punch them right now. You were forced into a scenario you didn't want to be a part of. And yet you're still comforted by the fact that you were able to protect people. And that feels good at least. But being no stranger to sleeping in the wilderness, to being a little bit cold and a little bit uncomfortable, does not take long for sleep to find you at all. And eventually it's just the crackling of the fire and Braum and Kara.
Well, I'm curious where we'll be going next, really. Because we have a female witcher and a boy who is now a witcher. And two other individuals. It's good to see you, by the way.
Oh, it's always good to see you too. Why does it always have to be under these type of circumstances, though?
That's the business I run into, really.
You're on the hobby business, then.
Well, it has been quite good, actually.
Oh, yeah?
It's been good for me. It's been real good for me, actually. I was able to help, in the previous town, I was able to help a lord get rid of his wife. So that was helpful. Good, mind you. Just spread some nice rumors.
Oh.
The normal things.
Okay. So no espionage or...
No.
No?
Just that she found one of the cleaning staff very attractive, and, well, there was a reason the other room was locked. So, the rest just kind of took care of itself.
That sounds like you. Very helpful.
Well, it's her fault for actually doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, mistakes will always be made, I guess.
It happens, but we will see what happens next, really. Because, unfortunately, I'm a little worried about who's looking for the boy and this mage.
Do you think you can do anything to get rid of the mage? Any rumors? Any?
There's no favors in this town that I could call upon, unfortunately. The nearest... Not without calling in... No. None of my favors would hold any sway here at this moment.
Well, going back to your first question, I do believe... we have a couple options. We can go to the keep, or we can pick a direction and walk.
Well, that's true. We could always head back, depending on what we want to do, because the boy will have to be trained.
I feel like there might be something more at the keep where she found the boy.
Yes, but isn't that where there's probably undead monsters and probably more bandits and a whole lot of no?
I feel like you can toss a coin in any direction and find something along those lines.
Yes, but if I'm traveling along a road, I'm relatively safe. Remember, I'm an old man. I don't like getting into any confrontations.
No, you still got some spring in your heel.
My hair is turning gray. I have reached the age where I'm old now.
I feel like you've been gray since you were in your 20s, but, That
is hurtful.
Am I wrong?
What?
Am I wrong?
Yes.
Doubtful.
That is painful. Again, with the insults. But, either way, if we have to go back to the keep for answers, I'm worried about who will be waiting. Because someone wants the boy, and we either have to get rid of them or find a way to have them no longer care.
I guess this is something that we can bring up with the rest of our merry band of people.
We might need to.
That's a horse. Couple horses.
We might need to. And as we begin talking, you see Braum take his hat off and walk over to the cart and pull a lantern off and kind of place it by the side of the fire. And he actually begins undoing and cleaning his hair lightly, just from the travel and just what's been going on. But still, something's off. Something's wrong. Even with the bandits in town, I feel they readily left, but they were still around. When we ran across them again when we were leaving, that wasn't
I hate to say it, but it felt like it was meant to happen. It was fate.
Intentional, yet
They're watching and waiting, presumably. So I imagine they're going to show up again, and I don't know if I can pay them off again. It may be a fight.
I mean, there's gonna be a fight regardless, whether the keep all of.
I just would
Undead
rather us take
eaters
care of
and-
one of them at a time, generally. Again, if we're going to do it, we should definitely... If we have to go to the keep, we have to go to the keep, but someone else can take the front. I will sit in the middle happily and let other people do the fighting while I just cheer from the sidelines.
Fair enough.
I
Go over to him by the fire and I start, rummaging around in my pouches and I pull out some wax and I start waxing my bowstring.
Well, we are supposed to be on watch, so I kind of get up and slowly turn and start, looking around, trying to see if there is anyone watching or anything. See if
Okay.
anyone's nearby.
Sure. Roll the awareness check.
Not a lot of highness on that.
Not a lot of highness.
Not very aware.
So it's pretty peasantry.
You're high.
14.
Show me the math.
4 plus 10 is 14.
Lies.
You did roll a 4.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. It feels like a fairly peaceful night. The wind has picked up a little bit, but it comes in gusts. I didn't mean that to pun out like that, but that's okay. Anyway, the wind arrives in small gusts, and it's not particularly biting. But otherwise, yeah, it's fairly quiet.
Good. Well, we will see, unfortunately. I feel like we are not out of this just scot-free just yet, unfortunately.
When are we ever, though?
When I'm in charge and I lead us away from the danger. Because, again, I don't like danger. How have I lived this long without not getting into bad things? I'd like going to the scary keep where there's undead.
Or back to the town where there's the man from the scary keep.
Do you know what? More often than not, I can pay people to fuck off. It's a very convenient strategy. You have benefited from that on numerous occasions.
I've been helpful too.
Yes, you have. I appreciate the help you've done before, but still. I do have a few books I need to get rid of at the next time we see a keep, hopefully. I've had a few that I bought along the way, but there's just some old relics from the past telling stories of old witches. That's why I was so surprised to see a female one, because I was recently reading a book about one.
Okay. I stand up, test the bowstring a little bit, and start walking the opposite direction, still keeping hushed tone, so trying to not wake the party, but watch in that direction. So should I roll in a?
Yes.
Where is awareness? Ouch. I roll a 1 on that.
Oh, you rolled a 1.
Kaboom.
So you'd roll it again, and that's what you'll subtract from the total.
The 1 still counts.
A 1. Okay.
No,
that's
not
good.
bad. Yeah, that's technically good.
Just
So
a
flat.
yeah, it's a flat roll. Just your
Um,
It's
modifier.
whatever your
Oh,
flat
there
is.
it is. Um,
As good as it gets.
a 9.
Just want to say, not being able to find awareness on your sheet, ironic.
I did roll 2 1s. And this is going
Take a negative 3 to your awareness if you can't find awareness on your sheet.
Yeah, no, it's enough.
Oh, you're just distracted. You've lived a fairly mundane life, all things considered. Is when it comes to magics like this, you haven't seen a whole lot of it. You're distracted by the fact that you've never met a witcher, and now you have effectively 1.5 in camp. You.
Wow.
Yeah, it's more like a quarter.
Oh, you're right.
An 8.
But
Moving around
it's drawing your attention away from everything going on, and you keep catching yourself instead of looking out at your surroundings. Your eyes just keep wandering to each member of the party, or at least where they're resting, and you catch yourself thinking about them. And trying to put together exactly who you're with right now. You know Braum. You've known Braum for a little while now. Braum is a fairly trusted ally. He does, like he said, he avoids combat and he tries to find a peaceful way out of most situations. He also is really good at profiting from most of those situations. You met Avery in the tavern, and there it was fairly fast friends. Both of you spend a lot of time on the road and seem to have fairly similar viewpoints. He's gonna hold it. Till you look, he's gonna hold it.
See how long it was.
I was interested to see how long it was.
I had to call it out. It was too distracting for me. I had to call it out.
I liked the tension.
But you also you look at Avery and you can tell he can handle himself. But you're really good at reading people, and not only can you tell that he's strong and confident, and though he appears a little rough around the edges, you noticed small things here and there. He cleans the dirt out from under his fingernails. For a man who's been on the road this long, to care about something like that is fairly interesting. He maintains himself just enough, and it's almost as if, as you watched him taking off his armor while you were getting up, you noticed that the way he placed his armor was fairly precise. Yet experienced with the way he left the buckles open so it'd be easier to put back on. And you know that he is a warrior. He might not be all that meets the eye, but you can trust that in a fight he would do some heavy lifting. You think to Marana, this person. You actually are brought here hopefully to help out. There was mention that she might share some of the same views you do, just more directed, focused, closer to Nilfgaard instead of Verdania. And you think about how you might be able to help in that situation and what her motivations might be, considering that she is a mage and you weren't. Is she trying to protect her own people? Is she, what is she doing exactly? And you can't quite place her accent. You've seen her willfully change it. And you can't help but think that she's also working on hiding something very specific. And in that, you recognized what you thought might have been an accent from south of Sodden in the Nilfgaardian Empire. And then you think about this Witcher, this female Witcher. All the legends said that they didn't exist. But then again, not too many people make it across the mountains from Zeracania. And you can tell by her predator-like body language, by the clothing she's wearing, that she is complicated. There's a lot going on there. And that sense of almost zealot-like nature of her protection and need to ready Felix, as she referred to after the trials as a little dragon. It's off-putting, but it doesn't seem untoward. But you're surrounded by this group who just out of nowhere decided to protect this boy. And you take comfort in knowing that regardless of who they are and what they might be hiding, they all came together to protect a child. And if people had done something like that for you when you were younger, your life might be very different.
Damn.
That bittersweet feeling kind of washes over you, and it's what's keeping you from truly focusing on what's going on around you. But the night carries on, and you catch Braum lightly drifting off to sleep a couple times, and that's when you realize maybe your watch might be up. A fairly chilly but uneventful watch.
Okay. I after nudging Braum awake one too many times, I go to kick him again and just turn around and gently walk over to Kvass over here and hey, Kvass.
What is it?
It's your watch.
Oh.
It's that time already. I'm sorry. I know you were sleeping quite roughly. Hopefully it was a good dream.
It was an adventure.
Oh, okay. You'll have
Not
to tell
as
me
much
about
as
it.
real life.
Oh, well, dreams are dreams.
Have a good rest, the both of you. Thank you for your watch. Anything happen?
Lots of...
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say lots of introspective moments. I'm gonna go think about that as I rest a little bit more.
Rest at peace. For you are in trustful company. We'll keep you safe. Not rest in peace, rest in peace. The preposition is different.
I'm just gonna go lay down now.
It's not my first tongue. It can be common. Sleep well.
If you need help with that, I can assist. I speak a few languages.
But you meant the resting in peace.
I speak Elder speech.
Again, I'm not killing people. Jeez, just an old man.
Sweet dreams.
Avery said there was wolves. I added some citrus to the fire. It should keep them away. I didn't hear any.
What did you add to the fire?
Skin of an orange.
That makes absolutely no sense to you.
All right. I mutter to myself, old husband's tales, I suppose.
Like that.
You hearing that? You hear him mumble back. All stories derived from truth. As I kind of walk off to go get back on the cart and kind of doze back off on the front seat.
Mhm. What time is it, probably? Is the sun rising, or...?
The sun is not rising yet. Maybe in another hour or two. It's still quite dark.
Mm-hmm.
The moon has been occluded by clouds, and the level of light has dropped significantly. You can still see fairly fine.
Mm.
The cold is what's gotten deeper. It's starting to bite a little bit.
I'll try to feed to the fire with Igni.
Okay. Yeah. So you draw the sign of Igni in the air, and fire calmly but forcefully erupts from your hands, and you watch as the fire rises just a little bit, and the warmth, you can even you're pretty sure you hear someone near the tree kind of as they roll over and accept that warmth again. You're sitting here alone as everyone sleeps, and it's comforting. You're not used to being around this many people for very long. And you do find yourself wondering, how long will this last? How much investment do they have in the boy? It's a worrisome thought if any of them were to have any preconceived notions about what they should do with the child next, and if that might negatively affect your mission. You hope that they are your friends and your allies, but you know that more often than not, people aren't.
And a lot has been asked of these people in a very short time.
It has, with little or no promise of reward, and no trust earned. You're at the fire for maybe 10-20 minutes, looking around and paying attention to your surroundings. Go ahead and roll an awareness check for me.
14. I'm serious.
What?
I didn't even think about it.
I'm gonna figure out the average, and I'll let you know if that's why.
Son of a bitch. No. All right. You don't hear any sign of these wolves, no howling, or anything like that. But shortly after, there's this slight shiver that comes across your body. At first, maybe it was the cold, but then you feel a presence of some sort. And you hear, and the wind beats down on you from above as something large flies overhead.
Please be a wolf. Please be a wolf.
I do not know of such a beast where I am from, but...
As you glance up, you can see, although large, it is not incredibly large, not the size of a true dragon or something, but maybe a draconid of some sort. And you think back to the fact that there is the corpse of a juvenile draconid nearby. And they don't tend to stray too far from the nest at young ages. But as it flies overhead, it veers towards the town of Scala and back towards the woods, seemingly uninterested in your group. You watch as it slowly descends into the forest and you lose view of it. And a thought comes to mind that the boy is going to need to be ready for monsters of all sorts. And although dangerous, exposing him to that danger is going to be the only way to ready him.
As the dragon flies overhead, I bow my head and say a small prayer to protect the little dragon. And for what is to come is a lot more hardship.
As you finish your prayer, a twig snaps from behind you. You whirl around, and there's a large man standing confidently in the camp. He has a nice, elegant jacket on that flows down into beautiful coattails. There's purple coloring on the jacket, and it's lined in this gorgeous golden thread. Very dark-skinned, reminiscent of the Eastern Zeracanians. Almost a coal black, bald head atop, and a nice long braided beard. And he smiles at you with his hands up. I mean you no harm.
I did not hear you approach. Who are you?
But you heard the twig, precisely when I meant you to.
Well, I appreciate the warning.
Of course. May I sit at the camp?
Of course. I gesture by the fire.
He walks over and sits down and whispers something, and the fire turns from its standard orange and red into a deep blue. And it burns dimmer, but hotter. Comfortingly hot. You are searching for the dragon.
You've spoken to me.
Yes, I have.
I look him up and down. Sorry? Who are you?
I am that which you seek. I have led you here across the mountains to
boy is
find this
safe.
boy. He is, and
He's
he glances
resting
towards
now.
the cart. These people were brought here when they needed to be.
They're good people with good hearts.
That doesn't matter. Whether that's true or not, they saved the boy when it mattered. What do you plan to do with the young Felix?
He's not ready in this world on his own. And I'll do what I can to prepare him for this chaos that is the continent.
It is good. And what of your hunt? Will you continue to follow me?
Of course, without a second thought.
Then I must warn you, your time on the continent grows short. From here, when asked, you will sail west to Skellige.
Skellige?
Yes, there is a Jarl there you need to meet. There,
Snowy mountain.
you're going to convince them to build a ship unlike any other. And you will travel further still, west.
What's west of Skellige?
The lands of Ophir.
Ophir.
A land that has never seen a witcher, but has much need of one. But I fear the boy is destined for something else. And it is important that you realize how little time you have with him. Rely on those around. That man over there knows his way around a sword. The Nilfgaardian can teach the boy a great many things, discretion being one of them. I don't know what part Braum has to play in all of this, but he seems a worthy tool, to
This
say the
coin
least.
provides great assistance for our cause.
Coin certainly does.
Must be having been.
And Kara, she is fragile, but fragile like sharpened obsidian.
She shoots true, and I have trust in her.
They have much to teach the boy, and they will have to do so in your absence. Perhaps it is important to find a way to keep them all together.
Strength in numbers.
Yes. But all too often, dragons must travel alone. Which is why you will, and ultimately why the boy will as well. The sun is rising. I must be off. Perhaps before the others wake, you take the boy on a small hunt.
Aye. His first hunt. As a
First of
witcher.
many. He stands up, kind of brushes himself off a little bit. You know, you almost had me in Cadwin.
Sorry?
You almost caught up.
I've been searching for years, decades. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your guidance.
But I'm not guiding you, I'm manipulating you. And my presence, I'm not actually here. And as he says that, you watch as he just fades away completely.
I appreciate the honesty. I'm, jaw-dropping, awestruck. I'd like to give the boy some time more to rest. It'll be a long couple of days, but as the sun rises, I think an opportunity to really see what he is becoming.
Okay. The fire slowly reverts back to a natural color. Starts to dim a little bit as the fuel is mostly burnt up at this point. But the sun starts to rise over the hills. Everyone's still fast asleep, though. Except Felix. Maybe it was a dream. Because as you peek out of the cart, Kavas is alone. But you heard her speaking to someone briefly.
I just keep watching to see if she talks to this person more. Or again.
No further conversation. Maybe it was a dream. but you feel wide awake. That soreness is gone. Your heart is beating quick, but it has been since the ritual finished last night.
I'll crawl out of the wagon and I'll head over and sit by the fire next to Kavas.
Good morning, little dragon. How did you rest?
Good, I think.
We have a
Feel a
long
lot
day ahead
better.
of us. You feel better?
Yeah. Felt like I was blacksmithing all day.
A hardy profession, headstrong and admirable.
It's tough. I get tired quick.
I think you'll find that your stamina and endurance will grow in this new shape of you.
Oh, I could probably blacksmith all day.
You could do more than blacksmith all day.
Like run all day?
Let's go for a run. See how
Now?
you feel. Are you hungry?
A little bit. And you hear, as soon as he says it a little bit, you just hear just a deep.
I'll reach into my pouch in Koi's bag for just some meager rations. Just let's sit by the river. Don't get up.
Yeah, I follow.
Okay. So you walk on down to the riverbank, which is not far from here. Not at all. And the wind has died down, so has the water, even more so, to the point where it's almost completely still in parts, or at least it appears to be. This section of the Sodden River is wide, about 100, maybe 150 feet wide from here to the bank on the other side. You can see down the river quite a ways west of here. Just at the edge before a bend is taken, there is a small ferry set up with a well-worn house. You can see smoke rising from the chimney. But otherwise, it's pretty calm here.
I pass the rations to Felix. You're going to need all of your strength.
I scarf it down like I haven't eaten in a week.
All right.
Just a little hungry.
You'll notice not only are your physical senses stronger, but there is more to you than meets the eye as well.
What do you mean?
A force of magic, of chaos that is within you. And you can use this if you can wield it to fight the monsters of this land.
How would I do that? I don't feel
Listen.
chaos.
Listen to the running river. Close your eyes and listen to your surroundings. Understand where you are in relation to this continent.
Where are we?
On the Sodden River.
Okay.
Really listen. Hear everything outside. The birds starting to wake up and chirp. The river running, some pebbles. The hiss of the wind.
So I try it. I close my eyes and I just start listening.
Okay. As you do, you start to focus on the things that she just mentioned. The slight movement of the water, the wind just whispering between reeds of grass, drop of water from nearby, birds starting to chirp just faintly. What sound do you focus on?
Water. The water. Because water is powerful.
Okay. You focus on it, and suddenly you feel colder. Not alarmingly so, just as if the temperature has dropped quite a bit. And you can feel as if your spirit reached out and touched the water. You feel cold in your hands. And then when the wind touches your fingers and kisses it just so gently, you feel it bite even colder. You open your eyes, but you're still just as far away from the water as you were before. Roll a spellcasting check for me.
That's at a -3, right?
No.
No. Oh, God.
Well, I can guarantee it won't be a 14.
It's a 0.
A 0. Okay.
So a 1. I don't know how.
Yeah.
It went
Pretty
negative.
much, yeah.
So it's as low as it gets.
So you just can't grasp what she's actually telling you to do. And although briefly confused about that feeling you had of touching the river, kind of still just hungry.
So I open my eyes. And that's really weird. It's like I touched the water, but I'm here.
You are connected to all elements around you.
I'm still really hungry.
Let's have some more rations soon, but as you focused around and your connections to all things around, this time, rather than focusing outwards, focus within. The changes in you, the power that flows through you. Feel the flow.
So I close my eyes again and I start focusing on the sound of my heartbeat, since it's faster and that's the only thing I've really noticed.
Okay. So you start to do that, and the sound of your heartbeat just drowns everything out. Roll another spellcasting check.
$17.
So that constant beat is replaced by a constant ring or a clang of metal striking metal. And you think about home. You're not even sure where home is, but you've never heard of the Sodden River.
Yeah.
And you think about your parents, specifically your father. Not a great man, but a strong man. And he would wake you in the mornings, much like Kavas did, pull you aside and start teaching and showing you things. He was exacting, not cruel by any means, but he expected results. But he taught you some things. And you shoed your first horse at 6 years old. You think about iron striking iron and the fire. And you think about how you always marveled at the fact that it doesn't matter how cold the water is. All you had to do was pour it over a hot iron and that would do. And you remember that you were just considering the power of the river itself. But that iron striking iron over and over in rhythm with your heartbeat, you feel your hands start to warm, your whole body, all that cold going away. You can feel a bead of sweat slowly rolling down your forehead. And you open your eyes and your hand is glowing, red hot, like iron so commonly worked in your father's forge. And as you turn your hand over, just to see the other side, a gout of flame shoots out across the river, just over the water. You watch as the water reacts to it and steam starts to hiss up. And just as soon as it happened, it's gone and your hand is normal again.
Was that you?
That was you, little
How?
dragon. That's Igni. The power of fire that you possess.
And it didn't hurt me.
As long as you control the flame, it will do your bidding.
How do I keep doing that?
Practice, concentration, preferably by a body of water, just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Because fire is powerful, and it can be dangerous and unwieldy. But as you learn to manage it,
We've had wildfires at home.
yeah,
They'll never end well.
let's say, I'm gonna practice, see if you can wield this fire once more. I get up, and I head back to the fire where Koi is. And I'll rummage in my bag, I'll get another rations. Good job, Felix. I'll pass it over to him.
I catch it and I just start eating. I'm not even trying to cast this thing again. I'm just starving.
Good job, boy.
All right.
That's what I was trying
It's like
not
a-
to laugh
it's like a treat.
about. That's what I'm shut up.
Boy.
You are a good boy, Felix.
The rations are, you're so hungry it shouldn't matter too much, but they are very utilitarian. It's a hard, tasteless bread and a dried, unsalted meat.
Yeah.
But you crunch down into it, and it is nourishing, to say the least. Birds start to chirp a little bit louder. The sun is finally actually peeking over the hills. As you two stay down by the river and practice a little bit more, she eventually shows you the actual sign, and upon doing so, it becomes much easier for you to channel instead of having to focus on that constant ringing. Now you can just remind yourself of that and trace the sigil, and sure enough, Igni happens. I would like you to add Igni to your list of signs, as well as 1 point in spell casting.
Ooh.
And the more others take the time to try to teach or train you, the more you may learn from them. The sun starts to beat upon your face, Marana. And the first time you roll over and try to ignore it. But then you remember you're outside in the dirt and the sun is up. And you start to stir a little bit. As you are stirring, you sense things. You can hear Felix, maybe laughter even. You can hear, though not make out the words, you can hear Kavas talking. They must have been up early. You glance down towards the river and you can see them there on the bank. And then this recognition washes over you, this feeling of magic currently in use. It's like a presence. You can't sense exactly where it is at first, but it starts to coalesce into a singular focused energy. And it washes over the camp, moving as if searching. You feel this magic presence around the wagon of Braum's merchantry, his cart. You feel it there. You feel it swirl around Kavas's horse, Koi, still sleeping, who stirs when it happens. The magic quickly washes over Avery's still sleeping form. Near the fire, it settles for a bit. It washes right up over to you. It doesn't necessarily feel threatening, but it does feel urgent. And then the magic stops, pulses and floats directly over Kara. And before you can even react, you can feel as it forcefully slams into Kara's chest. Meanwhile, Kara, in a fairly dreamless sleep, you start to come to a little bit. You feel that numbness in your hands and legs from a good sleep. You can feel what might be just the lightest amount of drool on the side of your cheek. Also a sign that you've been sleeping quite well. But you're in that space between where you're not quite sure if you're awake or asleep or if it even matters. And in that moment, there is a voice that whispers, Kara. You ignore it. Kara. And then suddenly, it's not a whisper, there's this ringing in your ears. And it gets kind of louder and louder. And then suddenly, as if violently shaken awake, your eyes are open. The morning light is cascaded across the entire camp. And you gasp for air as you see a woman standing over you with dark hair, angular elven features, and you recognize her as somebody you currently miss a lot. And she's looking at you as if worried. And then her voice that was a whisper is suddenly ringing as she yells out, "What are you doing? Run!" And just as you wake and you see this, at the edge, over by where the ferry is down the road, you see an armed group of about 15 men making their way down the road. That voice again, "You know they're here for him. Hide him, hide him." And then it's gone.
Katana? We got to go. We got to go. We got to go right now. Everybody, let's go. Let's go.
What?
Who's promising my money?
Let's go. We need to pack up. We need to go right now.
I'm sorry,
Why?
what do you
There are
mean? What's
men.
It
going
doesn't
on?
matter. Let's go.
What is all the yelling? It is far too early in the morning. I haven't had my tea.
Armor,
The boss,
now!
Felix, we got to go.
I can obviously hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You
I
hear the
hear a lot
commotion
better
in camp.
now, so.
I look over where everyone's pointing.
It's there are ways out, and from your angle they might only be able to see the cart or the wagon right now. But there is a large group of armed people heading this way. They all seem to be bearing the same livery. Although they have different types of weapons and armor, they're all wearing the same tabard, which is it looks like a lighter color. From this distance, maybe a nice green of some sort. And there's a yellow emblem, but you can't quite see what the emblem is from this distance.
Take Felix, and take Morana, and leave.
I immediately saddle up Koi.
I will. My cart has already been noticed. I will stay here. Avery, I would almost recommend you staying with me as well. I could very easily pass you off as armed guard for the moment, while they head downriver. I can buy
Whatever.
you enough time to
I will
hide.
go with the boy.
Go. Stay safe. And give us time to put your armor on. at the very
Excellent.
least.
This one, right now.
So as I kind of shoo everyone away, I kind of go over and begin helping you put your armor on. As I kind of help you out, I also walk over, and you see me pick up my very, very nice rapiers and kind of put them on my sides. My rapier goes on my right side, and you see me put a main gouge on my left.
Do you have more of those?
No, that's all I have at the moment.
We should give one to the boy. But first, we should come up with a story.
Well, the boy should be safe with the other ones.
And
I'm
I'm your
a
caravan
merchant.
guard.
I'm hired you to defend myself. Your friend was back in town, and we saw the boy and the Witcher leave the other direction we just went.
Where's Marana?
Going with Felix. That'll probably be the safest.
I could use another bath.
You know what? When we get to a town that doesn't try to kill us, I'll pay for everyone's bath.
There's still a way. It's probably going to take 10 minutes, maybe, to get here
That
from
gives,
where they're at.
that gives them time to go.
Get my horse ready.
Okay.
I'll be mounted when they arrive.
Yep. I will. I'll finish kind of packing things up. And kind of, I'll think about it and grab my little tin cup and pick up some water as I'm kind of like strapping things in and kind of sipping on it to kind of make it look like we're prepping just to this leave. I'm gonna lean in and see if there's any anything that's left that looks like it could have been the boys or the Witchers or anything. Even. Just a quick glance to make sure to see if anyone would like ask too many questions or like even if they searched, would anything be revealed?
So you peek back there, and all you can see is a couple blankets and a padded pillow. And anybody could have slept back there. It doesn't look... It looks like it was slept in, but it doesn't look particularly singled out as the boys or anything.
Almost feeling paranoid, I'm going to look back over and see it. Do they have any dogs or anything with them?
You don't see any dogs. You see 2 people on horseback, the rest on foot. You can see some spears from this distance now, some pikes.
Okay.
You see one person who's got either a smaller polearm or maybe a bow resting on his shoulder. One of the men on horseback has a shield equipped, but doesn't appear to be wielding any weapon of any sort. And they're not marching, they're just walking in a group, basically.
Make sure to stay by the river. Try to stay through the trees. Don't be seen. Me and Avery will take the brunt of their investigation. Avery, feel free to interrupt if you need to, but try to let me do the majority of the talking.
Done.
Perfect. Hopefully I can just convince them to fuck off like last night. It'll be in my favor, but
Is it the same people?
I can't see that far. Truthfully,
we'll
I'm
find
just
out soon.
assuming. But we'll find out if they get close enough.
Okay.
Marana, or Avery, do you have an extra cloak by any chance? One of your furs? Just for the boy's eyes to cover.
I
Just
can
in
give him
case.
mine.
Thank you.
Felix, here, you can wear this. It's very warm, I promise.
I just throw it over my shoulders. Throw the hood up.
Okay, we need to go. We need to go.
Steadfast Koi. Pop your thorn Koi.
Felix,
Pop behind.
hand him my hunting dagger.
Perfect.
I don't have a belt, so just hold it.
Don't cut anything off with it.
Please watch out for Koi.
I just I'm holding onto you with a dagger in my hand.
Okay. So just to verify, we have Kavas, Felix, and Marana are planning on...
I'm going to.
Okay, and Kara are planning on running off into well, there aren't really woods here, but into an easier to hide area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we
Rocks,
have
bushes, whatever.
yeah, we have Braum and Avery are going to kind of just make it look like you're finishing up camp for the day.
Yep. I'm gonna start whistling, kind of making a ruckus as I move things around, like aimlessly, almost creating like a ruckus. I want them to come say hello, almost.
Okay. Are you staying near the river, or are you going to stay closer to the road?
I'd like to find somewhere close to the river, so if we do make any noise, the river will cover up a decent amount of that sound, and try to find a thicket so that we're relatively well covered.
Sure. Okay. Go ahead and roll a wilderness survival check for me, since you're leading the way on that effort.
Do it.
Then the rest of you leaving in that group, roll me a stealth check and just give me the average of your numbers. Or actually, you can just all give it to me. I'll average it.
17.
Okay. You actually find a couple areas that you think will do. One might be a little close. The benefits of that being if you needed to help defend your friends, you could, but you also have a higher risk of being discovered. And then down the way a little bit, you see a place that is really easy to hide in, but you know that if you hide there, you'll lose sight of the camp.
I think at this point, Felix is my main priority. There's a thicket that we can hide down in. Let's head down this direction. I believe that we should be relatively well covered there.
All right.
I rolled a 28.
28.
Don't divide it by
Oh.
2. But yes,
Oh.
I got a 10 and it exploded.
Whoa.
That's quite the
Okay,
explosion.
your stealth.
18.
18. Yeah.
8.
Uh,
Who's
8.
sneaky?
Okay. And then I just need the one from you.
Not bad for
Chat.
having a 0.
Not as good. 11.
Okay. Okay.
Average.
Yeah, that's not bad. I'm just gonna calculator this. No, you're going to. 56 divided by 4.
Did. Come on.
My calculator. Dead.
I know, it's a little bit higher than just adding up
It's
the
like
D&D
50
math.
It's 15 or
56
16?
divided by 4 is like
It's 16. Isn't it? No.
16.
It's one more than
now.
that.
32,
14.
64.
14.
16
14.
points.
Is it-
14.
No.
It's 14.
It's 14.
Shut up.
It's 14.
That's hilarious. That adds
The
up because
number
her
of
crit would make
destiny.
up for my 8.
It would.
That actually makes sense. Her crit makes up
Hey,
for
I
my
got
8.
2 14s.
Hey, look at me.
I mean, if
Look
we're
at me.
If it makes you feel better, Justin,
Destiny.
I did the
Yes.
math. I did the
The
math.
number of
Main
destiny.
stats for him, at least, is 11. And I would say about average for additional stats would be about 3. So it does kind of add up that 14 would be about the average.
But come on.
That
Okay.
is pretty crazy.
Okay, if it happens again, I quit. I just want all of you to know that.
Oh,
You'll
well,
go Super Saiyan.
That's going to be very.
well, that's going to be really detrimental to the
Good
campaign.
off.
So
It's gonna happen tonight.
Wow, that's quite a threat.
All right. Okay. Some of you clearly better than others, but all still fairly well hidden once you get where you're going. You do lose sight of the camp. At this distance, you might not even be able to properly hear what's happening in camp. So you're just going to have to rely on an all clear from someone else when and if that moment happens. I'm guessing you brought everything you could, your normal carrying gear with you. So you've got your bow, weapons, etc.
I'm going to play my flute
Okay.
and act casual.
I would like to do one more thing.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna walk up the side of the cart and kind of elbow the side of it as a kind of little hidden latch pops open, and I'm gonna pull out the 2 extra bags of gold and kind of throw them in there and reach back and grab a much larger sack of gold and kind of click it back closed and leave about 200 gold in my in a pouch.
Okay. Avery, you witnessed this.
Play my flute. 10
All right.
performance.
So, you play the flute and wait. They must be well hidden because as you try to glance, you don't find them at all. 1 is the answer to your secret text. You could have just asked me out loud.
trying to let you just do your thing. Oh, I
He
put it
didn't
in the
even know
wrong
what
spot.
his vigor threshold was.
That was the wrong
Yeah,
spot.
spell.
Not wound threshold. I wrote it in wound
Oh,
threshold.
that
He goes,
explains your
That's
last.
what I was living like. You gonna die.
not one.
Oh man. Okay.
Sorry.
Uh,
Wrong spot.
So they must be well hidden because you can't see where they went. But you realize something just as you can hear, and you walk around the corner and see these men walking forward. You glance back at the Witcher's horse, and 2 things come to your fairly well-educated mind. 1, if those saddlebags are searched, that'll be a problem. 2, that saddle is very exotic. That is not a northerner's saddle. So, as long as they don't notice that, you'll be fine. Because as you think this, you freeze, but realize you don't have enough time to fix this problem.
Who the fuck are these guys? What would they know?
Well, we will cross that bridge in a moment, dear lords.
2 men on horses ride forward a bit. The one with the shield,
I'm gonna take my hat off and like wave at him, saying hi.
he rides forward the most, and he stops in front of you about 6 feet away. Hail.
Morning.
Yes, it is.
Oh, pleasure. My name is Braum von Kerrig.
Yes, we know who you are. You're from
That's-
Scala.
Well, that's disturbing.
Well, you came from Scala.
That'd be correct.
Yes.
I lean over, and the gentleman behind him. Did I pay them to fuck off previously?
You do not recognize any of these men.
Pleasure. What brings you to my humble campsite?
We're here to search it.
May I
We've
ask-
been asked by the local lord, Ramir, to search the camp. We're looking for a boy.
Would it happen to be a boy that it seems to be the rest of the town was searching for?
Yes, we have it on authority that you left with a large group of individuals, and the boy might have been with you.
Same thing I told the gentleman last night when I asked them to leave so I could go to bed. They rode off the other direction.
Ah, I see. Well, that gentleman last night says you told him to fuck off.
He was. He was being very loud when I was trying to sleep.
So, the man, kind of, leans back, and then the horse, he directs it to turn around and go up to the other man on horseback. Leans over and he whispers something.
Are there just two of them right now?
The rest of the group is still walking up about, I don't know, 50, 60 feet away.
But we can see that they're
Yeah.
more than two.
Yes. Altogether, it looks like a band of about 15 people. But he leans over and whispers something to the other man. This man is well armored. He's got chainmail, metal shoulder pauldrons. He looks like he has well armored plate legs as well. But you don't see any weapons at all on the horse or on his person, aside from what is probably just a simple utility knife scabbarded on his belt. He dismounts and walks forward. Apologies for my man. He is, well, direct, which is exactly what I need from him.
But of course, I understand. My man is also very direct when he's not playing his lovely tune. I am Captain Rancis
Getting billable vibes.
of the Skull and Fort.
A pleasure.
Yes.
But yes, I mean, there's not much to find. I'm just a simple merchant passing through. I met a few nice people in the evening. Was quite startled to see a woman almost laying me out.
There are no boys here.
That's true.
I have to be honest, I'm not so interested in your story. Stories can be lies or stretched. I have authority, as you are on the Skull and Lands of Rivia, that I can search your camp. I'm going to do so.
I would like to roll an education check to see how true that statement is.
Okay.
Pretty good. Could be worse. Could have been a lot more negative.
12.
12?
12.
Okay.
12. Let's make sure.
You're not sure how far that would extend outside of town, but it could. Those laws are definitely true. It depends on the kingdom, but there is absolutely no law in place to protect travelers from camp searches.
All right. I mean, if you must search, feel free. Would you like to start with my cart?
My men will do the searching. We'll continue talking. He puts a hand up and he looks back. Please be gentle. This merchant, I'm sure, has expensive wares, and he will be doing an inventory.
Thank you very much.
Of course. I am here to give respect as long as respect is given.
Absolutely, I completely understand.
So why did you leave Scala as his men start walking forward and searching into everything?
Truthfully, I was originally possibly thinking about meeting with the Lord. The Lord. I have a few different books that I was possibly trying to sell to him. I'm a little low on my normal wares that I normally carry. I normally sell knowledge and things of the such, stories, a little bit of everything. I do more personal favors if needed.
But why did you not stay in the village? You had already rented a room.
I even paid men to fuck off.
Yes.
And I could not stand the smell. I'm so sorry. If you even pay attention, you can even get a whiff of some citrus and lavender I added to the fire because it's nauseating. I don't mean to be rude, but it wasn't very pleasant.
Thought it
Roll
was
a
fine.
deceit check for me.
How deceitful are you?
Whoa.
Pretty good.
20.
Oh, okay.
Pretty deceitful.
As I can't control the whims of one person's nose or the next, I would appreciate if you did not speak of my hometown so vilely.
That's why I left and was trying to be as open and as honest as I could. Honesty goes very far.
It does indeed. And you traveled here with this gentleman?
No, I actually picked him up in the tavern last night.
And you are?
Avery,
Avery.
traveling warrior.
From
For
where?
hire. I've been a lot of places. Originally, not far from here.
Is that so? Where exactly?
Small village. Brookwell.
Brookwell. Don't know of a Brookwell? The other man who was mounted before, he leans over and he says, "Yes, I believe that's just west of here, in Rivia."
Yes, it's been a long time since I've been home.
Brookwell. Why did you leave home?
Money? Why does anyone leave home? I'm not bad with a sword. And the coin's good.
Money does tend to be the answer to all things, if needed.
Yes, it does.
I speak that a little loudly as I say it.
Captain Rancis looks around the camp a little bit.
The whole time I'm just twirling my mustache, having never stopped.
Rolling twice, no. You instantly know. Did he crit or fail?
Yes.
Oh, weird.
You-
Anyway, so
Or two different people, check.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Him and his friend.
I was definitely thinking it's a fail because your smirk was amazing.
Rancis lightly bows. "If you will excuse me, I'm going to check in with my men." And he turns and looks back at the other man with him. And he goes, "Bowed, please, let me know if anything happens." He walks over and starts looking around at camp. Soldier comes up to him and says something to him, and he shakes his head and keeps looking around. He comes back over to you. "There is something I've noticed about your camp.
Absolutely. What did you see?
Well, I'd actually like you to tell me what it is you think I saw."
I immediately just turn and look.
At your camp?
Yep.
Okay. Remember, honesty goes a long way.
Well, truthfully, what I see is I see a fire with where I was just sitting at one point, where my man was sleeping over by a tree. The horse I purchased. No, I don't see anything else.
So there's no chance a third person slept here last night? You see, the wagon has a bed made, and
Yes.
there are two spots flattened out over by the tree.
What me and my man do is none of your business.
The boy laughs. You are childish.
Because now you're encroaching not on civility, now you're encroaching upon my own personal business.
Yes, well, regardless of what it is you're doing while laying next to each other a mere 4 feet apart, I don't see how that is of concern here. Who slept in the wagon then?
Me.
And who slept by the tree?
Him.
And who slept by you?
Yes.
He pays me well.
Right, well, roll a deceit check.
So hard to I know. I have to reflect off of like lights in the background so I can see a number.
It's a 9.
A 9? Okay.
For a 9? What, you got a 3 in that?
That adds up.
Yeah, he's like, all right.
It's like close-up magic, but in fact
It's a
it's just teaching
5?
you math.
It's
Bro,
Math
you
is
see, I was
magic.
reading a 6. Even when I can read the number, I can't read the number. Yeah, I was reading a 6.
Oh, okay.
It's cosmic dice.
I was
You
like,
see-
homie, 6 plus 4 is not 9.
What the universe wants you to see.
So he raises an eyebrow at you and turns and looks your direction. Strike one, merchant. At 4, we will have a problem. 4?
I appreciate the extra strength.
Baseball doesn't exist in the comic. A little while later, a man comes up. Sir, there are scorch marks down by the river. He turns and looks at you. And you were lighting foliage on fire?
Truly, I have absolutely no idea what that is. Not a bloody clue. I have no idea what that is.
Roll a tell the truth check. No, I'm just
There's an honest race. I have no idea what this
Roll to speak the
scorch
truth.
marks.
Like a small fire?
Yes.
No, the only fire we had was by our camp.
Took turns on watch.
Yes.
Poor Braum.
Between sleeping by the tree, yes.
So you took watch and didn't notice a fire starting.
Well, between the first watch, the middle of the tree, which involved no watching, the second watch after that, and then us waking up. No, not a bit.
Perhaps you aren't paying your man enough. But I accept that you may not know. It's fine.
Really don't.
And what if the horse, the eastern saddle?
I actually just recently purchased that.
Yes?
Took the majority of the money I had. I plan to resell it. Actually, that's another reason I wanted to see the Lord.
But who did you purchase it from? Keep in mind, we are aware there is a witcher in the area. One from Zeracania.
That's convenient. I did buy it from a Zacanian. Yes. Very hard. I apologize. Zacanian. Some towns back. He said it was sold to him, and I bought it at a markup. Because I know I could get a little bit more, because it's an exquisite breed. It even came with all the saddlebags.
And you know your thing about breeds. I, too, am an equestrian.
I will be honest, I'm not. I just know that Zacanian breeds tend to fetch a bigger margin with lords.
Well, then, how much did you pay?
I'd like to roll a business check to see about what the average price for a Zacanian steed would be.
Okay. Can you roll your class skill instead?
Actually, that's true. Well traveled. We'll roll a well-traveled check.
Okay.
There you go.
23.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Okay. Zeracanian horses are, in fact, in high demand. They're very rare. They're fast and sturdy horses. And they're agreeable, usually fairly easy to train. You do also know that only nobility could usually afford one. That horse is probably worth upwards of 900 to 1,100 crowns.
Well, truthfully, I was able to bargain because he was a local innkeeper. He said it was left. Basically, he didn't say it was. He sold it. I was lying to you, but he said basically that it was
Strike
left.
two, merchant.
I
Thank you for
admitted
admitting it.
to that one.
Yes.
Thank you. And the reason I bring it up is because I got it for a fantastic deal. I only had to cough up 5,000 gold, so I planned to make double the profit. So I was hoping to get around 10 if I talked to the local lord, but then I decided.
So he walks over to Coy, and he grabs Coy's bridle and kind of gently, but sternly pulls the horse's face to look at his, and he looks over at its flanks and walks over to the saddlebag. And he places his hand on the saddlebag itself, kind of runs his hand up and down the leather. His hand stops on one of the bags, on the buckle. He's playing with the buckle a little bit. He turns around and looks at you. This horse is worth nowhere near 5,000 crown. 1,200 tops.
I'm sorry.
So then you're calling me a liar?
I suppose I am.
Or
Which
a
is
fool.
convenient considering you just admitted to lying to me.
Well then, sir, I believe we have a problem.
But we don't have to.
Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying that as the authority in this area, I try to rule fairly, but if you'd like to have the problem, I can give you your third strike.
That just means I need to pull my glove off and offer it to you then, yes? Because it seems you've striked against me 3 times as well, Captain of the... But if there's other ways we can depart peacefully and you happier, I'm okay with that as well.
He walks over to his man, Bald, leans over. Bald shakes his head no, then sighs and walks over to his horse. And he flips open one of the saddlebags, and you can see, amongst all the other gear, it was hard to notice at first, but there is a sheathed fencing blade of some sort.
Ooh.
And he grabs the entire blade and walks over to the captain, and the captain belts it onto his side, looks at you, and holds his hand out. The glove, then?
Pull my glove off. And by that, I actually don't pull a glove off. I actually turn around and walk over and grab a glove from the cart
Oh.
and offer a glove, yes.
Okay. So he takes the glove and he examines it and he goes, well, you do have a sense of style. And he takes the glove and places it in his belt, and he says, well, if I accept, then it will be fencing blades.
So first blood or death? Or surrender?
You aren't from here, are you?
No.
Duels to the death are illegal in Lyria.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so happy to hear that. Oh, I was really scared you were going to kill me.
I still might, if we find what we're looking for.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully we don't find it.
No, hopefully you don't have to kill me. I like living.
I see. Fencing blades. You have 5 minutes to prepare. And he walks over to his horse. Meanwhile, in the reeds, before has been hunched down for quite a minute. No idea what's going on over there. You can actually hear something, though. There are a lot of people, and they're all decently armored. You can hear some things. Some of the louder voices you can hear. Occasionally, you can hear sound of things being shuffled around or whatever. And then, at one point, it gets quiet again. And you are kind of caught off guard. The reeds themselves, the water here is very, very still. And with that stillness comes kind of a rank smell from the mud. And that smell, it's affecting the Witcher's senses. But being so focused on staying hidden and worrying about what's in front of you,
Sizing up my horse.
you hear something splash in the water from behind. And then there's some kind of shuffling, and as you turn and look, a large, muscular bear is meandering towards you. And when I say large, I mean large. This bear is big.
Is this a dire situation?
It might just be. It doesn't seem to have noticed your presence yet. But with each footfall, even through the water, splash, and then you can almost feel the thump as it's moving forward. It stops and sniffs at grass and some of the bushes nearby. You can see a large and deep scar that runs from the side of its head clear down its hide to its rear quarters. One of its eyes looks like it's milky white. seen its fair share of combat. As it gets closer, still hasn't noticed you yet, though. What do you do?
How close is it?
About 30 feet away at this point.
I'm not sure if I'm able or how well I'm able to, but I would like to try to calm its mind with Axie.
You've done it on
reach
your
out my
horse several
hand.
times.
Uh-huh.
So it's possible. You're
Mm-hmm. At 30 feet away, just like ready my hand in its
What's the
direction.
meters?
Oh,
believe
you're
I-
asking what the meters are?
I believe Axie's 8 meters.
Is it 8 meters, which is
That-
times
which
30
is
feet. That would be,
25-ish?
we'll round it to 10. 10 meters away then.
So he's almost close enough, and I want to ready my hand to form Axie
Okay.
to try to calm its mind.
All right. How many stamina points are you spending?
10?
That'll hurt you a lot.
Will it?
Yeah, whatever your
okay,
vigor is.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
A lot.
Okay.
Like could potentially kill you.
So I
at
thought
that
I had
moment.
all my
Like, that's not
stamina
a joke.
points to use, but I do not. Okay.
Right, so you have a vigor score.
Right.
This will be good for everybody to know at
2.
home. Yes, so that score is how many stamina points you can spend without harming yourself.
Ah.
If you
then I'll
spend
2.
more than that, for every point you spend more than that, you will take 5 points of damage.
Yeah, so you
Understood.
would have just taken 40 points of damage
Ouch.
from casting it at
Yeah, I
10.
would have been unconscious. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it
Let's
would have
use
knocked
2.
you out.
2
Okay.
points of stamina.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a spellcasting check for me.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to say something like 10. I
outrageous,
actually
yeah.
really was.
Do,
I was
do-
like, she might not know.
You know?
do Witchers use their Witcher skill?
No.
Or
No.
that they use
That would be for
spellcasting?
knowledge.
Okay.
Mhm. But
No, the
spellcasting.
Witcher training allows you to replace monster lore and like investigations involving monsters. You use that stat instead.
Do I add the stamina
Yes,
to my
you
roll?
do still have to spellcast.
No.
Or is that separate?
You do still spend
You-
stamina.
Do not add your stamina to the roll,
Okay.
but since you spent 2, that increases. That does increase the DC
I
of
did
my
get a
resistance
19.
check. You got a 19 total. Okay, so then I will need to beat a 21.
Okay.
Yes.
The Witcher's Journal that I handed you, will you give that back to me real quick?
So actually, I didn't get it today.
What? No, the book. The book I loaned you.
Oh, this book.
Yeah, it's called The Witcher's Journal.
I see.
Oh, you're asking about the
I
bestiary.
thought the
should hand that to you.
bestiary,
It's
so
over in
I
the
was.
corner.
I thought you meant the bestiary
I did
too.
too. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Because you said the Witcher's Journal.
Yeah.
Best
Fair
read of the
enough.
book.
Joanna.
Now I know. The more you know.
This is my favorite thing about D&D is flipping through the books. I'm not even kidding. Any sort of role-playing game. All right.
Should be taking breaks too.
So I need to get a 21, you said?
Crikey, he's angry.
Calm beast. Calm.
Just do it out loud. Don't spill this time.
Bears are apparently fairly magic resistant. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine.
Okay, so as you trace this sigil in the air and it trudges forward, you feel this connection to the beast and you see it shake its head and then it looks right up at where you're standing. And we're gonna go to break. Before we left, what do you?
Water.
Oh, drinks. Sorry, I got water. So
What are you waiting
Water? I barely know her.
Thank you, Pika. It is an evil corner.
You guys make me drink.
You guys make me proud. So proud.
Wait, I can do enough to make you drink?
This doesn't take much, bud.
Speaking of water, as the group was hiding in the reeds at the edge of the river, they were approached by a large bear. And as it was getting closer,
Nothing.
as they were getting closer, the Witcher stepped forward and thought she would try to magically alter the bear's mind, casting the sign of Axie to get it to
Calm its mind.
at least not become aggressive. You watch as this light mote of energy coalesces across the bear's face, and it shakes its head and looks up at you. It turns and walks the other way. It stays close, though. It's as if it's just decided you and the group aren't a problem or food. But it also, not caring that you're there, has no plans on moving on.
I respect the distance.
The bear continues to
It's a mutual respect.
pick at some of the bushes. At one point it swats at the water. But it is apparently minding its own business.
As we are.
Thank
Felix. Boy. This is definitely the closest you've ever been to a bear.
Boy. Close your mouth, Felix. You'll catch flies.
It's good protein. As long as it's not a titi. Then it will eat your brains and then come out of your eyeballs. I digress.
Save me that one.
You're about ankle deep in the mud here. It's not thick mud or anything, but it's definitely squishy, a little gross. There are a lot of flies buzzing around. And since you have no idea what's going on at camp, it's just miserably uncomfortable. But eventually you hear footfall. You hear somebody nearby. You hear a voice. I think we should look over by the river. You hear another voice. Oh, you think that a little boy is just laying in the water, hiding? The other one says, no, it's not a little boy. Remember? The mage said he's dangerous, that he's what did he call it? A Vidalkin? A wolf man? No, those aren't even real. You hear the footsteps. They're probably about 50 feet away, maybe a little less, meandering around. The bear isn't paying them any mind either. Is anybody going to do anything? Hunker down? Or what?
This tension is unbearable. I'll leave.
Please do.
I can't bear to make a mistake.
I pause.
I'm gonna claw my eyes.
Got a lot of clowns at this
You're
table.
gonna claw your eyes out, huh?
I'm going to try to avoid any kind of conflict at all cost. So I'm going to hunker down and motion to Felix to do the same and kind of wrap my cloak around him tighter because it's sort of a forest green kind of mottled color.
Okay. So,
Not so tight.
you hunker down, quiet yourselves to the point that you are barely breathing.
God.
I will have the last word.
Just stop being the bearer of bad news, all right?
Nice, well done.
Credit lethal.
Yep.
Lethal?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, she said that.
Somebody should tell her that she was sorely missed yesterday.
Oh, she knows.
I told her to watch the
Okay.
vibe. She wasn't sorely missed by me.
So, as you remain quiet, you hear one of the men. They've got a little closer now. They're up on the other side of a berm, though, so unless they decide to climb what is probably a fairly steep hill on their side, you should be okay. But you can hear them fairly clearly. And they start talking about the mage that took up residence in the fort, and how they remember distinctly that Lord Ramir had actually offered a bounty on removing the mage from a nearby ruins. But now the mage is living with him? And one of the men is 100% convinced that this mage has ensorcelled the local lord. But eventually, they meander away, and as their footsteps grow quieter, so too do their voices. And you're left hiding in the mud again. The bear is now a mere 8-10 feet away, minding his own business. Back at camp.
Are you really going to do this?
I may have made a terrible decision. I won't lie.
He says as Rancis has finished his stretches and is going through some key motions with his blade. Clearly a well-trained individual.
What sort of first aid kits do you have in this cart? Bandages?
Do you know what there is? And I've been walking, not a one, and I've been walking forward.
I have some supplies in my saddlebags. Get them ready.
Bound, the larger man, is standing near you. And he walks with you as you go to get your gear. He says, "Apologies, I have to stick with you. You are his champion, after all. If anyone was to protect him, it'd be you."
Apparently he's his own champion today.
Well, of course. That's the way these richer types do.
It's an idiot. He's not paying me enough for this.
How much is he paying you?
Not enough. That's private.
Fair enough. You know, Lord Ramir pays his soldiers well.
Does he? What's the going rate?
12 crowns a day of service.
12 crowns a day.
Yes. It's recent, though. He was paying far less last week.
Is he in desperate need of men?
Apparently, yes. This boy is a problem. I don't know if you are aware.
Apparently so.
It's a cursed child, a wolf thing.
We heard wolves last night. Does it have anything to do with it?
It must. It has to.
You should tell your lord.
Yes.
This is going to be a joke. I've never seen Braum fight. I don't think there's much honor to be won in this ridiculous duel.
Well, they're too busy insulting each other. Rancis is usually a good man. He's on edge. This will be
because
quick,
of a
though.
Wolf boy.
Ah,
It's the strangest thing I've ever heard.
no, it's personal stuff. I don't want to bore you.
No. I'm willing to be quite bored for 12 crowns a day?
Yes, 12 pounds a day of service.
Whew.
Obviously, you wouldn't work every day.
Nonetheless. What sort of things are going on at the castle exactly? These
Fortress.
aren't violent parts.
It's
These
definitely not
fortress.
a castle. It's a small wooden wall. A manor house and inside. I can't talk about it. Just
Thanks for the
stay
tip.
clear of mages. Can't be trusted.
Agreed.
Each of them has a tendency to wiggle their way inside your mind and start convincing you to do things you never would have.
I don't know about that. I think the world was a much simpler place before the conjunction. All of this madness.
Of course, the conjunction of the spheres is the reason we're beset by monsters and magic. What I wouldn't give to move to Redania and fight the mages on the front where it matters is the most honorable thing one could do. Maybe join the Knights of the Eternal Fire. If they'd have me.
You'd be surprised. I'll take almost anyone. Oh God. Walk back to the dueling ground and how do they look? Pretty prepared to fight one another?
Pretty much. Rancis has taken off the heavier bits of metal. So now he's basically just wearing a chain shirt. He's removed his leg armor and his arm armor as well. He kind of sets it gently to the side, leans a little bit, stretches. You hear his blade whip through the air as he plays with a couple circular motions. And he looks over at you and says, "There is dishonor in, well, revoking a duel, but I would graciously accept if you feel the need to quit."
I'm kind of going through some warm-ups a bit. As I do, I kind of fumble with my left side on purpose. And kind of like buckle on my knee and kind of grumble about bad knees and old age.
Okay. Roll me 2 checks. please.
Okay, what you want?
I would like deceit first, followed by physique.
16 for deceit.
Okay.
Physique.
That was nice. Spin on the die. Yeah, that was cool.
12.
12. Okay. He raises an eyebrow, but then he looks at you and kind of shakes his head.
Well, there is dishonor, but I would rather lose to a good swordsman than forfeit to one. Because at the very least, you get something out of your day, and I get a new mark.
As long as accidents don't happen.
I would hope we can be somewhat on applicable terms to not cause accidents.
I think the word you were searching for is amicable. You speak with education, and yet I don't think you were born into it.
You'd be correct.
How does Braum's armor look?
What's Braum wearing for armor?
Leather. I am wearing. On closer inspection, you would first think it's like really just like nicely woven leather, but you realize it's almost like you can see extra stitchings that it's been double woven for extra protection.
Oh no, it's not the leather. It's the it's canvas.
Canvas, yeah. We
So
talked about it.
he's wearing a double woven canvas, and it's normally reserved for padding underneath armor, but it does provide some protection, especially against small blades and the like. It's just really easy to move in, and it is largely considered the fashionable choice amongst everybody but the most basic of commoners.
Braum, would you like to borrow my brigandine?
No, I'll be fine. I think
I don't want you getting hurt. You're my paycheck.
I feel this man is an honorable enough man not to kill me.
Accidents happen.
Well, if it's my day to die, that would be terrible. Please don't kill me.
I have no intention of killing you. Simply a base humiliation will do.
Seems fair enough. In a duel like this, would it be considered rude if I drew my main gouge as well?
Roll an education check.
Son of a bitch. That's actually right,
I mean,
education.
it was just
21.
rape. It was just rapiers.
Probably not.
Oh,
It is a dueling weapon.
So I'll kind of adjust, and then I'll pull my main gouge out, drop it to my left side, and pivot the blade up to my chest, and raise my right leg, and just wait patiently for the duel to begin.
So this dagger you draw, you can see, this is the first time he's drawn it, but it's hilted almost identically to the rapier he has, but the dagger has a long blade, and there's a notched center just above the hilt that is actually cut out, and it's just large enough that a smaller blade could fit through that notch. It's beautifully ornamented. It looks like the hilt itself is silvered, or maybe just a well polished steel, and then there are some gems encrusted upon it as well. It's a fine piece of equipment, that's for sure. So as you stand ready, Ballad steps forward and he goes, "Good gentles gathered here today, duel in all earnestness is about to commence. Lord Rensis, you do give consent to be assaulted?" And Rensis nods and then salutes with his blade at you. And then Rensis says, "As is the Lyrian custom, I will give you one last chance to back down from the duel."
I've already raised my leg. At this point, it's not coming down until I'm moving.
Kind of looks at your stance. "You really aren't from around here."
That's what I've been saying.
Bal turns and looks at you. "And you, what was his name again?
Braum?
Braum of
Braum von Kerrig.
Kerrig. Braum of Kerrig, you do give your consent to be assaulted as well in this duel."
Flick the blade up, throw it out.
All right. He takes a step back and he goes, "Then you may begin." Go ahead and roll me an initiative real quick.
Wait, what's initiative again?
Initiative. It's just is a flat wall.
Reflex. D10 plus reflex.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh,
reflex.
okay.
That's right.
Unless you have a bonus from something.
You won't.
But you won't.
You'd know if you had one.
I don't. 13.
Okay. So as you go to move
Reflex
forward,
plus flat wall.
Captain Rensis just He's younger.
Yep.
And he's quicker.
Yep.
And he steps left, steps right, and then quickly just pokes straight forward with his blade.
Yep. Damn it.
Ooh. Okay. Block, parry.
Parry.
Parry? Okay. Go ahead and roll. Your target number is going to be a 19.
19.
19 is the is that what you got, really?
19. 8 plus 11.
Okay. All right. So you just barely parry his blade, and you see as he's caught off guard by the defensive strike, and you're followed up.
I will go through and strike with both blades.
Okay.
Quick attack, right? I'm in the right game. I'm not going crazy.
You are in the right game. You do have two different options. A quick attack is 2 strikes with 1 blade. You are dual wielding, so you could choose to attack with both blades at the same time, which would be harder for him to defend against.
Then both blades.
Okay, so that will be at a -3 penalty to both attacks.
Okay, that works. Okay, first attack. 12 on the
Okay.
first one.
He is attempting to reposition completely.
Alright.
Ooh, not utilized often.
Okay, so you slash forward with both blades, one high, one a little lower, and it was surprising to him, and he goes to step backwards, and you watch as his foot connects with a stone that rolls out from under him, and he falls straight onto his ass in front of you.
I pivot back and raise my blades and end my turn.
Okay, so having him dead to rights, you cancel your attack and bring it up, and he's sitting in the ground, and he looks embarrassed, to say the least, and he punches the ground, and he stands back up. He kicks the rock out of the way and kind of dusts himself off a little bit. And, well, we now know you're an honorable man. I apologize for the slip-up.
It happens to the best of us. I felt insulted by you when you did nothing of the sort.
He salutes again and says, I shall allow you to be first to strike.
And
Your turn?
And strike back again.
Okay.
Oh,
no.
It could have been worse.
10.
10? Okay. Was a crit
No,
fail.
11. Sorry, 11.
But you rolled 1, right?
I did.
Crit
Crit
fail?
fail,
Okay.
11.
Okay. So as you swing, he had just relaxed his salute. As you step forward and attack, he very quickly leans back, reaches the blade out, and smacks it against the side of your hand, and you lose your grip on the blade.
Okay.
As your sword falls towards the ground, you do still have your attack with your
As it's falling, I simply come right around and reach and flick forward.
Okay. Oh man.
No, at 11.
Okay.
12. Sorry, I actually miscounted the last time too, because I forgot to add the 1 as a plus.
All right. Well, finally getting his footing as you drop the first blade and slash forward with the main gouge, he steps to the side and your blade passes just inches away from his chain shirt. You even, for a brief second, feel the metal scrape across the metal. And he reaches an arm up and he locks your arm in place, then takes his whole rapier, reaches it around to your tricep, and just draw cuts straight up your arm. See if it actually penetrates your armor. 11 damage to your arm.
To my arm?
Yes.
Yeah, you get through.
Okay.
Yep.
So as the blade cuts through the cloth of your double woven gambeson into your arm, it was so fast and so clean that you didn't actually feel the bite or the cut at all. But as the blade comes up, you see that there is a trail of blood on the blade itself. He then steps back, flicks the blade into a salute, and then eyes you to see if you're going to yield the fight or not.
I raise the poniard up, and I honor the duel as he is the victor.
He immediately turns and tosses his blade over to Bald, who catches it and starts cleaning it off. He goes, I apologize for the mercy kill, but I felt as if you were outclassed, and I don't mean that as insult. I simply mean you're not a duelist, but you are one willing to duel.
I
For
was
that
10
I respect.
If I was 10 years younger, I might have had a shot to touch you once.
If you were 10 years younger, this probably would have been a date instead of a duel.
Oh,
Then
pleasure.
turns and walks back over to his horse and starts kind of setting some things aside and everything, and he looks out at your camp. You truly do not have the boy present.
No. Do not.
Let me see that arm.
I raise my arm.
Start unbuckling his armor and looking at how
It's-
deep the wound is.
It's not in a dangerous position, but it is bleeding fairly heavily. It might require some stitching, some light stitching.
You know medicine.
But yes, no, there is no boy present here.
All right. So nearby, there's a that bench you had set out, and Avery pulls you over to that, and you sit down, and he starts going to work on that medicine check. Go ahead and roll the check. For me.
7.
Good job. So you're looking at it, and you go to bandage it, but you just look at the wound, and you recognize it's going to need stitches, and you just are not going to be able to do that. So you finish bandaging it, and you can see the bandage is already starting to done with that die.
Shit.
It's
Just soak
more
through?
crit fails than I've ever seen.
I don't roll ones a lot. That one
No.
was rough.
But the blood starts to well into the bandage itself. It looks like you stopped the bleeding, and he's in no immediate danger, but he will need to see an actual professional at some point.
This isn't going to do you much good, but you're not going to die this time.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well fought. I'm honestly impressed.
I can stick him with a pointy end. That's about it.
Braum, there's always more to you than meets the eye.
Comes with age and experience.
Apparently so.
So, Francis walks over and looks down at the bench you two are sitting on and looks up at you. I'd like to sit.
Plenty of room.
He looks at this clearly two-person bench.
I
and looks
lightly,
back up at you.
I lightly nudge Avery. Avery, this is the part where you walk away for a moment.
Oh. All right. I need to go wash my face anyways.
So, Captain Francis sits down, kind of looks at his hands and sighs. Can I be honest with you?
Look around. Is there anyone really within earshot?
Just the two of you.
I'll be absolutely. Feel free. Divulge your secrets. I'm kidding. Feel free to let me know what's going on.
I just want to find this boy so the mage will leave our fort. I know that you might be trying to protect him, and I'm not an idiot. He may not be here now, but you did at one point have him, and know likely where he is headed.
There might be some tracks that could point into a direction, but what if the boy is not a problem? And I can say with certainty, the mage is a liar. And he, if I believe... Actually, one moment. And you see kind of Braum kind of begins stroking his beard as he thinks about what the description of the mage was like. And he says, was the mage's name Drevetti?
Sorry, say that again?
Drevetti. Was that the name of the mage that the Lord is
Yes.
with now?
Drevetti of Cidaris.
What if I were to be able to tell you that that mage is the problem, and he's completely full of shit?
I would believe you wholeheartedly. The problem is, it doesn't matter. The boy can be simply a boy, can be a wolf man, whatever they say he is. The mage isn't leaving until he has this boy, and the Lord won't allow it, regardless of what proof you have. I believe he is under a spell.
That would not surprise me. What if are there more monsters lately in this neck of the woods?
None more than usual.
Generally, what if I were to say I might be able to help you out with your problem? Because
The mage.
it's my problem too, temporarily. And my side is weighted a little bit more.
Or that I could. Simply put, I am an honorable man, and I have sworn an oath to Lord Ramir, and even if he is ensorcelled, I will follow his commands.
You should do nothing but follow his commands. Just follow them away from me. And let me take care of things. And you already know you can best me in a fight, so I'm not much of a challenge.
But if you plan to move on the mage, I will have to engage you in combat.
Just, hopefully not. You're an honorable man, and quite a just one, and I might have a way to get close to the mage and the lord in a safe manner.
So as Rancis is thinking about this, kind of looking at the dirt in front of him, one of the soldiers comes up with Bald in tow, and the soldier looks down. Captain, we found something important. The captain stands up and walks over to the soldier and kind of looks at you, almost judgmentally.
Mm-hmm.
Soldier, there's a hidden compartment on the wagon. We found large amounts of money, and digging through some of the wares of this merchant, we also found a couple illegal ingredients. Hast thou forgotten?
No. And I
Yes.
just go, of course there's a hidden compartment, and one does not simply travel around with that much gold. That's
And
fun.
yet you did.
It's in a compartment. Hidden away.
He looks back at the soldier. What was it? What were these illegal items? And then he looks over at you. Perhaps you would like to tell me before he does?
I think that I'm pretty sure Wolfsbane was one of the illegal ingredients. I'm not sure if the other ones were. Nightshade? I believe was the other one.
The soldier looks at the captain and nods his head. He's on the road. Perhaps they aren't illegal in Rivia. I suspect you'll be getting rid of them shortly.
If you wish, I will bury them now for you. I'd throw them in the fire if you well, no, that's bad. I will bury them right now.
No, that will not be necessary. I think we are done here. Everyone begin packing up. Merchant, if you would like to do an inventory, make sure nothing has been stolen.
I trust your men and yourself. Actually, as I say that, I immediately walk over to the secret compartment.
Start counting your gold.
I go, normally I trust everyone, but money is the root of all evil.
All right. So you kind of take a look at those bags and think about how much you had, how much they weighed. Do a quick measuring.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything was taken, it was probably a small amount.
I will reach in and grab 14, each one of the, because there's 16, so I'll grab 16 gold coins.
Okay.
It appears that they're heavier than they should be. It's a waste for these to go anywhere else but to good men. And I just offer the coins up to them. One for each of your men for all the trouble for this day.
So a few of the men are like, yeah, and
This is
start
not-
walking forward, and Rancis goes,
This is not bribery. This is literally an offer to good men.
We do not accept money from travelers.
Not even if it's just for you doing a fine job.
Absolutely not.
And I drop them all on the ground.
The guards like look at them and look over at Rancis, and
I turn around.
Rancis sighs and says, Bald, I'm going to take 3 to 5 minutes to prep my horse over there, away from this cart. And he walks away. Back in your hiding spot.
In the mud.
The bear, still in the area, had found some berries on a nearby bush and was
Berries.
What?
Berries.
Berries. Ha, ha.
That was my contribution to the bear jokes. Go on.
Okay. The bear is snacking when it like turns kind of suddenly and slaps at the water. Maybe it found a fish or something. But it does it again, and then it reaches its entire maw into the water, and you see some thrashing. It's either a very large fish or something else. when it yanks a full humanoid figure out of the water. It's got this oily sort of greenish blue skin, long claws with webs in between. It comes up out of the water and starts clawing at the bear. The bear's got a really good grip on its upper arm. But this noise is loud. The thrashing, the bear is swinging its head around and trying to paw this creature down as it slashes at the bear's side. What do you do?
Witcher, this creature is going to draw attention. You need to take it.
It's already drawing attention.
Well, too much more noise and they're going to come. We can't risk them coming that close to Felix.
Why would they come? It's just a bear. Why would they come to save a drowner?
You know, this creature.
Yeah, they came into the village once.
Calmly talking as this bear is fighting.
It's been
Killing
through some
a
shit,
monster.
right?
We need to move or we need to silence it before it draws attention.
Felix, would you like to assist me? I hold out my hand.
Not really. I have seen those kill people. I'm okay.
Together with the bear, we can do this.
What if I hit the bear?
True.
Felix, we'll
Yeah,
all
you
be
should do
right
it.
here.
I'm gonna stay out of this one, okay?
At least he's an honest man.
Without a second thought, I hold out my hand towards the drowner and I cast Igni.
Okay. How many stamina points are you using?
2.
Okay.
Also, outside of combat, stamina pretty much regenerates instantly.
Pretty much.
That's
Pretty
good to
much.
know.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Not exactly, and
All
if
right.
it's not going to, I'm sure.
So roll your spellcasting check.
Yeah. When you're just waiting around hiding, it's gonna come back.
23.
Okay.
Okay. So this blast of fire streams forth from your hand, striking the side of this drowner, which was very accurately identified, and it screeches out in pain, and the bear is startled as well, and it drops the drowner completely and starts traipsing off across the water out towards the road. Out of sight, this drowner sinks into the water, and you're not entirely sure if you finished it off or not. I need all 4 of you to make awareness checks for me.
I'm super aware.
These kids
Okay,
and their
so-
shenanigans. Tell you.
Yep. Super aware.
16?
Okay.
Ugh.
2.
2?
2?
It was a 1 minus 9.
I'm a lot more aware than her. 8.
Okay. What was your total?
13.
When you fall asleep. I do that sometimes too. Just space out.
I wonder if it barely survived.
So, there's... Alright,
Killing jokes.
Oh, I'm still mobile.
bear with me.
Grinning and bearing.
You're a son of a bitch.
We're terrible. This is all so bad. So bad.
It's gonna turn into a drinking game for viewers at home. It's like, fine!
It's turning into a drinking game for me.
I don't think it's a game.
Oh, this is a game for you.
So, there's silence. You can hear the bear running off. And then you hear people near where that bear is. As an alarm is raised and everybody starts screaming, "Bear! Bear!" Down the road, you can see as the guards had started to move off in the direction of your friends, but hopefully out of sight, a large bear just comes bursting from the bush line right at the this crowd of people. They scatter before they even have a chance to level weapons at it as the bear just takes off on the other side, ignoring these people.
Holy What in the goddamn hell was that?
Big ass bear! the soldiers are all standing around, like, looking at each other. Rancis on his horse was at the rear of the party, and he's looking at everybody kind of incredulously as well. When Bald yells out, "It was One Eye!" And Bald starts riding off into the woods on the other side of the road after the bear. As you hear all of this going on, and you hear someone yell out, "It was One Eye!" The three of you are so distracted by all of this that you don't notice what Morana does. As you glance around looking for this drowner, you don't see any movement. And you take a couple steps in this ankle-deep mud. And then right next to Felix, you watch as the mud rises. And a hand comes up out of the mud, a face close behind it as you see a drowner. And then another one near Kara. And still a third, this one also near Felix. And then violently, they all reach out. In that split second before they do, what are you going to do?
Magic.
Let me go.
So I'm not resistant, in case you're wondering.
Yeah. No, I have, what is it, Enye?
Okay, it's basically a way more powerful than beam. It's a fireball.
Yeah, but I could aim it at what? Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes, magic
That's
speak.
single target though, yes? Like I'm not gonna area of effect everybody if I incinerate one of the...
case, but I shall double check.
As long as you roll well.
Do you have a
I'm
page number?
90% sure.
Do you have a page number?
No, I do not. But I do have, it says fireball that's within range, 4d6 damage, 75% chance to light the target on fire. So I'm assuming it's just one because it says target.
Yeah.
Singular.
Yeah.
Oh, I do need a percentile die, actually.
Okay, okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll a spellcasting check. The stamina cost is 5 of the spell. Are you going to spend any more than 5?
No. Well, yeah, I could spend... My vigor is 7.
So you could spend 7 without losing a single
Okay,
hit.
I'm going to spend 7.
Okay.
And what did we say? Spell check?
Yes. Spellcasting check.
Spellcasting check.
It's your attack roll.
For you, Jess, Igni has a 50% chance of lighting things on fire whenever you cast it.
Good to know.
Yes.
So-
However, drowners very rarely can be lit on fire.
Yeah, when you're
Okay.
I mean, you know.
Do you want us to roll those checks
Like a
whenever
wet rag.
whenever we cast it, or we just?
Yeah, in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm aiming for the one that's got Felix.
Yeah.
And-
So 2 of them are reaching out, but neither of them have grabbed him yet.
Okay, so then I'm aiming at one of the 2.
Okay.
I'm going to aim towards the torso. And I got, my spellcasting was 21.
21. Okay.
Is the torso visible yet?
Enough of it would be.
You said they were coming out of the water for you. Should
Yeah.
I just let them eat you?
No, I'm just curious on mechanics of stuff like that. Like if you can't
So-
see a part of their body, can you still hit it?
Adults are strong.
Your ball of flame starts as it leaves your hand. It's fairly small, no larger than maybe 1.5 inches across. But as it flies across the air at great speed, it gathers size and velocity and smashes into the side of this drowner. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okay. Wait, how many did I say it was? 4? 4d6? Alright, so I've got 11, 15.
Okay, so this ball of fire smashes into it and then envelops it completely, and it begins screeching this cacophonous cry of pain into the air, so loud with Felix standing so close that you drop and cover your ears, and you're face to face with this drowner that lunges out and grabs you and drags you downward towards the mud. Will you roll a brawling check for me? Is it brawling? Yes, brawling.
Sweet. 10.
Okay. So you twist, and these newfound reflexes of yours, you You don't quite have your coordination down, but the speed and strength you have is still enough to kind of carry you through this. And it rips a large amount of your tunic just in half. But you stay out of its grasp as it pulls down into the mud and disappears. The one over near you, immediately, as you turn and look, before you can even react more than that, it just dives into the mud as well and vanishes.
Hey, don't touch me there.
It's my no-no square.
That's my no-no square. And Justin hates it here.
myself
Well
that
done, boy.
Reminding myself that I asked all of you to be here.
Hey, this is what it's like when you say things at on Fridays.
Don't say anything on Friday. I play a very serious character. Played a very serious character.
Played. Oh god.
We don't.
Some people have not watched.
Whoa, spoilers.
That is a good point.
You better shut your mouth there.
It's not even up on YouTube.
So
yet,
anyways.
You're welcome.
Anyways, yeah, it dives down, and you don't see any evidence that they're still around. Maybe they've retreated or what. The one is lying dead on top of the mud, but you hear people. So back at camp, you watched as this bear tears off, and Bald follows it. Everybody's standing around collecting themselves, wondering what the hell just happened. You hear this loud screeching of some kind of creature off near the river. From where you're standing, that would be a mere 40 feet away from where these soldiers currently are. And they all start to form up and march straight over towards the river.
How long did you say the river was?
How wide?
Yeah.
About 100 feet.
It's a big river.
Captain!
He's not out of earshot, but he is actively ignoring you.
I'm gonna run up to him if I can.
Wasn't
It's a
he?
bit of a ways off. What?
Who ran after the bear?
Bald.
Bald.
Yeah, the captain's man.
Okay.
So you start running that way as they start marching up and over the berm. You can hear them coming as well.
Get him out of here.
The boy?
Yes, you go. I will create a distraction. Go with them. Keep him safe.
All right, Felix. Let's keep going down the river, through the mud.
So at this speed and with as little cover as there is, the only way to avoid detection is probably going to be to dive into the river itself, where there may or may not be drowners.
I saw your strength, your might. Hold your breath.
Oh God. I hate swimming.
I don't think I can do that with those monsters down there. I tried to face the people.
I turn and jump in.
Face the people.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
The boy just he's in
done.
the water.
Just me and the boy
Done
will
deal.
jump in.
Okay.
You have done nothing wrong here. Searching the mud for clams or something.
I will help you the best I can.
I jump after
I
the
will
boy.
not leave you
Okay.
alone.
I'm sure she can catch up.
Yeah, probably.
Pretty easy to
There's
outswim
no
kids.
swimming check, so we're just going to go ahead and stick that in with athletics. I think.
Athletics, yeah.
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 Although technically swimming means you're in the wilderness and trying to survive.
I'm athletic.
True.
This
dog.
is the only hobby you do for fun and to also not die.
So we're.
So athletics or wilderness survival?
We'll go with athletics.
Solid.
Man, you be rolling threes.
10.
10, okay.
21.
21?
21's a lot better.
All right.
Gotta give
So,
him a piggyback.
I can swim.
Right.
You can swim, but you can't swim below water very well. So even though you dive into the water, just the effort alone causes you to rise to the surface and start splashing. You, however, so deft at this, you dive into the water and like a dolphin swimming below Felix, you turn and grab him by his tunic and pull him in close and begin kicking while you're both underwater downriver. So
I
now
aid
we've
in the
got a-
kicking.
What? You
I
aid
aid in the kicking.
I just see.
But I frog stroke kick. I'm not a dolphin kicker. Yeah.
appreciate the character background detail on that. That's good. That's good. I'm glad you.
clashing a little, but
It's literally on his character sheet.
My legs are so small, they're not come on.
So, what are you doing?
I grab the drowner's body and I throw it into the
Thank
water.
you. Yes.
Into the water?
Mm-hmm. Into the river.
I'm gonna help you with that because the second somebody sees a charred drowner, they're gonna know that I'm a mage.
Mm.
So I need to get rid of that evidence fast.
Just climb
Okay.
it.
I
drowner's gold.
hate
Now it's a
everything
charged
about you.
human.
Much better. So
Yeah.
you're running forward. What are you doing, Avery?
Running towards the sound
Okay.
with these soldiers.
And then there's me going.
I am
Just blend in.
I really, if that sound hadn't come, I was really tempted to go after Old One Eye because that's really interesting. But
Old
That's
One Eye.
really
None of us
interesting.
bit it. None of us
Yeah.
bit that plot line.
I thought that was cool. But I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
save
Old One
my
Eye.
friends.
Oh, one eye.
So, roll a physique check for me. No, I don't like it. Roll a athletics check for me.
Except both of us.
Okay.
Or...
No, never mind. I'm going to go back on my word again and make it a physique check, please. Yes, the both of you, and then just give me the combined total.
Okay.
This is not
And it's a
gonna be good.
physique, you said?
Mhm.
Where the fuck is that?
I'm a mage, so
Mage.
So it's definitely being lifted by one side.
I don't have the upper body strength. Okay.
13.
13 and
6.
okay. No, that's fine. So combined, you manage to grab this downer and heave into the river. It
It's a downer.
splashes.
You said downer.
Did I say downer instead of drowner?
Yeah, you said downer.
That maybe is a downer.
Don't
Real
be a downer.
downer.
I mean, that's what it's going to be doing in the
The
water.
drowner has been downed and is therefore
Yeah, so now it's a downer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Learn
Anyway,
English.
it splashes into the river.
It's the post tense of drowner.
There's only one hitch in all of this, and that's that it's floating. And the river is not particularly fast here.
Can I hold on? I was gonna call it mage hand. It's not mage hand in this one. Can I?
Telekinesis.
Yes. Can I use telekinesis to throw a real heavy rock on him so he sinks?
Or you could just push the body theoretically further
I
down the
mean,
river.
theoretically, but if it's gonna keep floating.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So telekinesis is below my vigor threshold. 22.
Okay. So a nearby rock caked in a lot of mud lifts up off the ground and rushes over and then plumps right down on top of this drowner, and they both sink underwater. Seemingly, the drowner is now out of sight.
It should be a pretty significant amount of weight.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
So-
if you have 6 ranks, like it's a lot. that
Yeah.
You can lift. It's
With
crazy.
little time left to react, you are able to turn just as these soldiers crest this small berm. At the top is Captain Francis, a early 30s clean-cut man in shinier, more expensive armor than the rest of them. Not carrying any weapons, stands down and or stands up above and looks down on all of you. Well, just you two actually. You, at this point, have just burst through the bushes near the same area, and you come up the hill next to Rancis.
My God.
And Rancis turns and looks at the two of you and everybody down below, and I need you and you to make endurance checks to hold your breath. Because, again, the river is barely moving.
13.
It's hard for me to do math for a second. 16.
16, not bad.
Wow.
Boy's holding his
Hey,
breath
the
just fine.
average.
You having to hold the boy in and swimming with only your feet, the strain is starting to cause your lungs to feel like they're swelling inside your chest.
We would round down.
But for now, you're managing to hold your breath.
Average of those two rolls rounded down was
14.
14.
Just
By the
throwing
way,
that out there.
by the way, in case you were wondering.
With your powers combined.
The power of 14.
I feel like we need Letterman jackets with like 14 on it.
Oh my
somewhere.
God.
Yes.
So Francis looks at everybody, sees you breathing.
That's what humans do.
You know what? I'm sorry, Braum, but you're all under arrest.
For what reason?
You said it was the two of you, and yet I have found two more of the companions that were described that you'd left with.
It looks like two young ladies who wanted to have a romp in the mud, similar to me and Avery.
You think I wanted to romp in this mud? Look at me, I'm covered in it.
The point being, you had to have known they were here, and yet you said nothing. Men? And the soldiers start walking forward. One of them's holding manacles, walking towards you. Another one's got his weapon drawn, pointed at you. A nice bearded axe.
How many are there?
Everyone but Bald.
So 14 people.
Yes.
Okay.
Captain,
Just to clarify.
if I may have but your ear.
You had my ear, and you chose to spin lies.
No.
If you want to try your silver tongue at someone else, it will be Lord Ramir in the fort.
I
You're
know.
under arrest.
Please. For the honor I showed you, give me but 5 words.
No. He turns and walks away from you.
Where was that honor? Where was...
You lost that duel. Perhaps if you had won, I would have listened.
Well, if you didn't fumble, I would have... And I should have just taken the chance and stabbed you then.
Perhaps you should have. He signals for two soldiers to start walking down towards you, you both. And then he turns and looks at
Braum
you
will
and...
remember this.
I'll take off my sword and drop it to the ground.
Good. I was worried that you'd put up a fight. And 3 men come walking towards you, holding out manacles, and one of them starts to slap them on you. What are you two doing?
It's a great question.
What the
You two roll again.
situation we have gotten ourselves into.
Nice.
How well can you swim?
13.
Question. So, how well did these troops listen to their leader?
They seem to be listening. No problem.
No problem. Okay. I'm gonna try to use mind manipulation.
Oh.
Alright, let's go.
Okay.
What?
Right, let's go.
Alright.
Well, is it? Wait, hold on. Okay, before I do, is this something that I have to like say out loud? Like, will they notice if I fail it?
The spell?
Yeah.
They're,
Like, is
I
it
don't
something I
believe
can
there
do?
would be.
Like, can
What-
I do it subtly? And if it doesn't work, it just doesn't work. But if it does, it does.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I know the fact it's not the case for Axie. They will notice. But let us find out. What's the spell called? Mind manipulation?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in rituals. I'm like, what? These look powerful.
Because I don't remember there being anything that says that it would like backfire, but I could be wrong.
Alright. Mind manipulation. Stamina cost is 3. Allows you to force one target to feel one of the following emotions for the duration of the spell. Hatred, love, depression, or euphoria. It lasts for a fair amount of time, and the range is 5 meters. So, you... What is your spell casting without rolling? What's the total of that combined with your what is it, intelligence for spellcasting?
Mm-hmm. So it's 15 total.
Oh no, spellcasting's will.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's
15?
it's 15 total with,
Okay.
with will and spellcasting.
All right. 15. Casting a spell without verbal components is completely possible, though more difficult.
Okay.
So you can try. If you fail to cast it at the more difficult level, though, they will know you've tried.
Okay. But
You-
I
yeah,
got this bad boy.
Okay. All
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna use this.
Huh?
Okay, so that means I automatically crit, right? Yeah.
If you're using the
I'm
medallion,
gonna,
yes.
I'm gonna automatically crit then. Okay.
So you've rolled a 10.
Yes.
Plus
Plus
15 is
15 is a
25.
25.
Roll again.
Plus 7.
Ooh. All right. Who are you casting the spell on?
Mr. Manager. What's
Mr. Manager.
Michael
I'd like
Cera?
to talk to your manager.
No, Mr. Manager.
Yeah.
My first
Not the
manipulation
captain.
spell is a Karen spell.
Yes.
Not the
I'd like
captain.
to speak to
She
your
wants to speak to
manager.
the manager.
No, what's his name? The guy who's leading everybody. But they all
Reese's.
Francis. I'm going to
Reese's.
cast I'm going to cast love spells. Yes, that
Okay.
one. Mind manipulation so that he loves me so that I can
Okay. So
Is this like Axie? Does this spell work like
Technical
Axie that once it's shaken, they know that they've been charmed?
you don't know.
Probably way more.
We don't know. But
I
here's
don't know,
what we
it
do
doesn't
know.
say it.
Here's what we
That's
do
fair.
know.
It's magic.
You
I don't
lock
know.
eye contact with him, and you begin to summon up this chaos within you. You concentrate on this feeling of admiration and love, and you watch as for a brief second his green eyes go white, and then back to green, and he walks right up to you. You must be a mage, because I am enchanted by your beauty.
Stop it.
He,
Flattery will get you everywhere.
he gives a slight bow and turns and looks at all of his men and says, I believe she may have been captured by these three. They are still under arrest, but of course, my lady, you are free to go.
I don't know them. I've never seen them before in my life. But my companion and I, we were here, and there was a bear, and
That scream you heard was me.
it was so terrifying. I thought I was for sure going to be dead. Oh, we're so happy that you're here. Thank God. I don't.
As she begins panicking, I kind of go, and I just give the most "I told you so" look I've ever given in my life at this captain.
I'm desperately searching the tree line and stuff, trying to find the Witcher and the boy and make sure
Okay.
they're out of here.
You both need to roll endurance checks again, by the way. So, you you put on this incredible display, and you just see this caring sense of pain from Rancis. He's like, it's going to be okay. I'm so sorry. So this young lady here is not part of these two criminals.
Criminals.
Yes.
I've never seen them before in my life. I don't know if they're criminals or not, but we're most certainly not with them.
All right. Then gather your things. Please, come with me. He
Yes,
holds his hand out.
We would appreciate that so much. So thank you.
So he helps you out of this muddy area.
I'd try to get out of myself then.
You're like, thanks. And meanwhile, you're still manacled, and the other soldier near you kind of looks at you and he goes, "If you wouldn't if you'd be so kind as to I can't. Are you a lord or something? Anyway, you're.
I suppose I can't pay you to fuck off.
What?" He holds his hands forward with the manacles.
Seems your silvery tongue has done it again.
15, by the way.
Okay.
13.
As I reach over, I make sure to adjust my hand and move a lockpick a little closer to my finger as I offer to have my hands shackled.
Is that so? Roll me a sleight of hand check.
I was hoping to do streetwise.
Why would it be streetwise?
Knowledge on the street. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Sorry, that's
All right.
All
All
right.
right.
Wrong on the street.
baby.
Sleight of hand, right?
Yep.
Under dexterity.
15.
15. Okay. The soldier doesn't seem to have noticed as he manacles your wrists. He takes the key as he places these two bits of metal together, locks it in place, and then another soldier comes up and unbelts your weapon.
Please be careful with those. Expensive.
Shut up. He starts walking away with them. One of them starts kind of patting you down a little bit. Your rings end up being taken from your hands.
This is really upsetting!
As you say that, your hat is taken from your head.
No. Put the hat back on. I'm about to see your lord, please.
Completely ignores you. Over to you. They've started taking any of your gear away as well. They leave your armor on, as it's hard to take it off when your hands are ironed in front of you. Rancis looks over at you two. What are you doing outside of the village? Perhaps I can escort you home?
Yes, please. That would be amazing. We came out here for some fresh air. The city, please don't take offense, but it doesn't smell particularly wonderful.
He's so hurt. He's so hurt. I can feel the pride being broken.
Perhaps it is an acquired taste. It smells much different than thought.
Ah,
I start wondering if he smells too.
Self-conscious now.
Ah, yes.
The stink of that fucking town.
I love when smells are an acquired taste. That's my favorite. So he can taste it too, is what he's saying. Right?
So he sends a squad of soldiers back down the road to finish packing up your cart and grab the horses there. And then he offers his horse to you. And after a couple minutes, you all start acclimating into the fact that you're surrounded by soldiers. You two. You can't tell how long you've been underwater at this point, and you've been kicking for sure. But you still don't know if it's safe enough to come up, but your lungs are burning, both of you. When finally you can't take it anymore and you both burst up out of the water, gasping for air. And it's quiet. You are a mere 20 feet from an open road, no cover whatsoever. Off in the distance, you can see the tail end of what looks like Braum's cart being pulled up the road.
With Koi being towed.
You don't see Koi. But the coast appears to be clear.
This is unfortunate. But we are safe, and you are safe, and that is most important.
As long as you're safe.
As you climb out of the water,
It's alright.
that cold autumn air is still washing over you, and you start to shiver quite a bit. Looking back down the road, you can see where the campsite was. It's completely cleared out. You see no evidence of Koi, no evidence of any of your friends.
Did you hear this? Those wagons? Some good horses on them.
Lots of horsepower.
Yeah. At least 4.
My horsepower.
What are you gonna do?
We're like on the other bank.
No, you're still on
Back
the near bank.
campsite.
Oh, we're on the same side?
Yeah.
Damn, we got nowhere.
Everyone is gone.
You swam downriver.
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
That makes more sense.
Back to the campsite. Well, I'll start wringing out my linens and head to
Is
the
the campfire still there?
Yes.
Is it burning?
It's smoldering.
I light it.
Okay. Roll a spellcasting check.
Not great.
Tried your best.
You still learn it.
I'm not used to using will. 6.
Okay. You can get your hand to light up, but you just couldn't get the fire to build.
With practice, Felix. And I hold out my hand to light the fire.
All right.
with Igni.
Go ahead and roll.
Geralt is 21.
Oh yeah. Instantly. I mean, you basically just wave and the entire fire erupts. Which is an interesting thing that no fire even left her hand. She was able to command it just from that distance. This is the first time you've seen that.
You expect to move mountains?
No, but didn't even do anything.
I saw your hand aglow.
Yeah, yours didn't even glow. You just
I've
did
been
it.
doing this for much longer than you have. Patience, boy.
It's just hard. I'm like half naked now.
Yeah, your tunic is ripped clear down to about your belly button. It's hard to keep it on your shoulders. It was already a little oversized for you.
Good thing I have this cloak still.
That's all we have. Is what is on us. But
Yeah,
we
is
have
Koi
each
here?
other. You don't have to remind me, boy.
Oh, that wasn't in character.
Oh, okay. It's just the tone you gave was very convincing.
No.
No, Koi is not here. No horses. No gear of any sort. Actually,
That's not true.
there are coins on the ground.
Oh, wow.
They were left
Can
behind.
I see them?
How many of them were there?
16.
16, one
Yep.
for every guard.
You should take them, dude.
16 coins on the ground.
Start a new life.
Oh, these must be Braum's. And I pick them up. I gotta give them back to him. Can you hold them? I don't have pockets.
Sure. 16 gold. Braum will not be seeing these coins. But I appreciate this coin
Oh, what a witcher.
every time.
Bullshit! Where's my hat and my swords and me coin?
I'll
be fine.
Yeah, better than in the
It's a
dirt.
leprechaun now.
You collect the,
First
you collect
hat,
the
then me
coins,
coin.
and start to dry off by this fire. And you don't quite know what you're going to do next. Do you go find your friends? Do you leave without them and continue on your quest to train the Witcher?
I won't be with you forever, boy.
Yeah, well, everyone dies.
I will not die soon. But
Pretty confident.
are you?
You know
Have to
everyone
be.
dies, right?
Yes. This will be our fate one day. But our companions provided great security. And I don't know where they are.
Well, they were in the company of those men, so
Scholar.
I don't think that it looked good if they took your horse.
You don't have to remind me, boy. That was in character. All right.
I'm just trying to compile all the facts. So, they probably got taken, which means we have to go get them.
Seems that way. We're pretty
But I don't know where
conspicuous.
the jail is.
Probably close to their royalty.
Well, I'm sure the Lord's nice.
He was nice. Until
You met him.
Until a mage corrupted his mind.
Oh. Not that mage, is it?
The mage will be right beside him.
Well, he'll recognize me.
I think a lot of people will recognize us as soon as we enter the town.
Well, I look different now, right? So maybe they won't. But he will. He's probably not very happy with me.
No, to say the least. Perhaps by the cover of nightfall, we can get closer and try to
Oh
find our
yeah, I
companions.
can see now.
That's
So
right.
we can both go. And then people won't see me.
No, and you will see all.
Yeah. I'm better than them now.
In this aspect,
I'm like a
yes.
cat.
In many other aspects, no.
Did you see how fast I was?
You were so fast. You
Couldn't
got that
even-
drowner.
couldn't even
He
grab
was a
me.
downer. After he was done with you, you were done with him.
I've heard that before, I think.
Really?
No,
Me either.
I lied. I'm sorry.
Sometimes honesty is not always the best policy.
My sister called it, jest.
Good word. And sometimes, sorry, sometimes humor is a good antidote in this dark world. I appreciate your jest,
Thank you.
and I'll definitely appreciate your eyes. Keep them peeled.
Like,
Where I
Won't that-
come from, that means
won't that hurt?
awareness. No, unless you don't blink. Let's wait
I just
until
start
nightfall.
with my eyes.
What are you doing?
You said peel them.
Yeah, keep them active, aware.
Oh, I've never heard that before. When you say peel, that's like an orange or a banana. Those are not my favorite.
Well, I don't have either of those, so it'll be rash. Ah, that's on coy. Perhaps
we
we
don't
can
have
hunt
any
for dinner
food.
tonight.
Oh god.
I did see some berries.
Oh my god, I thought you said bears.
You just hear a bam. Just
Fouled.
Val is just chasing this bear.
I want to be chasing that bear.
Well,
and not
maybe we
in
should do some
manacles.
gathering while we wait for night.
Let's gather until nightfall and prepare to enter the city.
Okay. Roll me some wilderness survival checks as you begin to gather berries and find ways to feed yourselves.
Bro, you are a consistent 2-8 type of guy.
Yeah.
13.
13. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't know what the fuck I'm looking
You
at.
yeah.
Anyway, so.
You at one point you're pulling seeds off of bushes and thinking they're berries, and you don't really know what's going on as you're just kind of compiling all this stuff. A couple times you brought them to her, and she's like, "No, boy," and you're back out looking
I said
again.
blue flower, red thorns. Are you colorblind?
Hey,
Yes.
not cool.
Well, it's not colorblind,
Very
but I only really see green and gray.
Luckily, you guys aren't here to chastise me about how I raised the voice.
Just like a.
So, there is a point in which you're both separated a bit, not far, 30 feet from each other. But where you're at, there is a large rock nearby, trying to pick some berries. Actually, berries this time. And
Well, that's good.
you smell. Oh, you smell the bear again, actually. And you look up to, at this point, you're pretty comfortable around it. You sat and hid from it, or hid with it for about 15, 20 minutes in close proximity. But you look up, and the bear's head rounds this large rock, and then plops into the ground and rolls down the small hill to your feet. And there's a man, slightly bloodied, in armor, with a large axe standing above, and he looks down the hill at you, and he goes, "Well, I guess it's my lucky day." And he smiles and starts walking right towards you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
"You're coming to the fort. Don't make me kill you." He starts scrambling towards you. You can see he's slightly injured, actually. And he slips a little bit and slides down the hill towards you.
I'm like slowly backing up, but not really running. I don't think you really want to do this, mister.
Yeah, sure, you're cursed. You're gonna turn into a wolf. I just killed a bear. Come here.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Come here.
And I speak up, not loudly, but loud enough that I know she can hear me.
Okay.
Yeah, she's gonna kick your ass now.
I
Who?
sprint.
Okay. So he goes, who? And he turns like looks to the left like there's nobody there, and he looks to the right.
As soon
just
as
as
he
you were flying.
As soon
towards
as he
him.
looks over, I'm gonna cast Igni at him.
Okay. Go ahead and cast your Igni spell, and then give me an initiative check from both of you.
Okay.
Whoa.
Do you want initiative first?
That
or
does
cast
count,
first?
whatever. I'll roll this one.
No, I think because you're getting an
He
attack
said
of
roll Igni and then
opportunity.
roll your.
So
Yeah,
your-
Igni first. Well, roll. Give me your initiative, but the Igni's happening outside of the initiative order.
11 on the Igni.
what's up?
Okay.
16.
Okay.
I did. I judged it.
And then initiative is also 11.
Oh, easy peasy. Okay. So he reacts first, actually, still on edge from this bear fight, as he turns and glances your way, and you're diving towards him. The corner of his eye, he sees you raise your hand, and he flinches out of the way, not knowing what to expect. Your Igni blasts right past him as he dodges out of the way. But he turns and looks at you with this bewilderment, just as you slam into him. Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
Okay, so what I do is I'm sprinting forward, and at both of my sides, I grab both my whip and the scorpion, the silvered chain,
Okay.
and I go for both of his wrists to pull.
All right. Go ahead and roll your attack. It's going to be brawling, with a -3 for using 2 weapons.
I was trained with the School of the
You
Viper.
were trained in the School of the Viper. All right.
Therefore, dual wielding is my
Yes.
specialty.
Go ahead.
Hey, knowing your stuff, guys.
Wow. Thank you for the die. Take it. +1.
Actually, you just rolled a 1 brawling check, not 2.
Okay.
You combine it.
22.
Jeez. Okay. Having just dodged out of the way of this Igni blast, you slam into him. Both weapons come out to grab at his wrists. He's going to try to dodge out of the way. You manage to get the whip around one of his wrists, but the scorpion, your silvered chain, does not connect, actually. But you've pulled his hand off of his large two-handed axe and yanked that towards you, and he turns with his one hand, a little off balance, swings the axe directly at you.
I dodge.
Okay, go ahead and roll. I got a 21.
25.
Oh, just
She can
barely.
dodge.
Yeah. I mean, in slow motion, the axe connects with your hair as you leaned back and the hair came forward. Small slivers of it separating from your head as he misses. What are you doing?
I'm gonna run up and stab him with my dagger.
Okay.
Boy!
In the leg.
All right, go ahead.
Baby
Calm
Felix.
shot.
I said in the leg. I'm not actually calling.
That's just as far as you can reach, right?
So it'd be
Me on
small
days.
blades.
Yes.
So 10.
10. Okay.
Surely he can't dodge a 10.
Surely not.
Beast is this man?
He doesn't actually.
No.
No, he doesn't. Yeah, he got a 9.
Oh, okay. A 7 for location.
I believe 7 is a leg.
I think you're right. I think it is one of the legs.
That's your first.
I don't have my DM screen
Fight
up, so I gotta
ever.
go to the- Let's go!
You just stab the guy in the
Boo.
kneecap.
Way to be prepared.
Why is my DM screen not up? Why have I done this to myself?
For the suspense.
This is done.
The anticipation.
You know what? Why look it up? It's late today. Okay, so you run forward.
It's either right or left leg.
I'm pretty sure it is. So
Yeah,
you run forward.
7, 8, 9, and 10.
And you just remember that one time you saw a performer in your village, and he held the knife, and he kept switching from like a forward grip to a reverse grip. And he did that. So as you're running forward, you spin the knife into a reverse grip, and you stab out at his leg, and it connects. Roll damage.
I don't know what this dagger does for damage, so.
I think it's a hunting knife is 1d6.
I think it's 1d6.
Okay. plus
Body.
Nothing for you.
nothing. Okay.
Yep.
2.
All right. So it stabs into the leather of his armor, and it doesn't actually bite into his leg, but he turns and looks down at you with this rage, like, you just tried to stab me! And he backhands at you.
I'm not there to protect him. I hate it.
How could you? Ah! It's gone forever.
One day we'll have to explain why.
Dodge? Fuck, where is it?
Under reflex.
10.
10. Okay. He connects.
Damn.
So his hand lands on the side of your face, and you only take 4 points of damage, but it splits your lip open, and your head is ringing. Your vision has doubled, and you're not, like, sure of your footing anymore as you stumble backwards.
This guy sucks.
Oh, you still have one more action.
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Igni at him again.
Okay. Go ahead.
A little less this time. I mean, these numbers are gonna elude me for a while. 8. So I don't even think that is.
Yeah,
I don't know
it's,
this, but you got
it's
a 10 to
succeed,
for
yeah.
signs. I couldn't
So
remember. if
again,
signs
you
were the
hold
same
your
as
hand out and it
spellcasting.
glows, but in all your pain, you can't concentrate like you could before, and nothing happens.
So he's just a child.
What is this boy? And then he kind of starts reaching towards you.
You dare hit a boy, a child? And so I still have the whip on his axed hand.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no, on his right hand. He's got the axe in his left hand.
Well, then I reach for the axe hand with my chain.
Okay.
With the scorpion.
Go ahead and roll a brawling check again.
That's a 1. 9.
Oh no!
The second worst possible scenario.
You can reverse explode, right?
Yes.
Yes.
If you roll a 1 and then
But
you
you
roll
do
a
have
10,
the-
you
keep
keep
rolling.
rolling. You keep rolling, and
She
that's
does have the
negative.
inspiration,
I have inspiration.
point from.
I use my inspiration.
Okay, that's right. You had one from last week.
Pika,
No, she got
from
one this week from Pika.
from
That's
Pika.
right. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
Pika.
That's right. You used last week's one. You don't remember to send out the coins.
We didn't have
Much
a good
better.
time.
Much better roll.
to do it.
We didn't have a good time to send out coins last time.
25.
25. Okay. So, with the scorpion, your silver chain, you whip it out, and to your vision, Felix, sometimes it's hard to properly gauge how long this chain is. You've seen it before, and it's at least 9, maybe even 12 feet long. But at this point, maybe she's just reaching up further on it or something, but only about 2 feet of it reaches out and wraps deftly around his wrist, and you see as it cinches down, blood immediately erupts from the chain and starts pouring down his arm, and you have him locked in place.
So anyway, I started kicking.
What are you going to do?
I'm gonna stab him in the back this time.
All right,
Called
so you run
shot to
forward
the
with rank
torso.
again. Okay.
Go for the kidneys.
Ooh, that's pretty good. Small blades, so it is a 13.
Okay, you connect.
6 damage.
All right, the knife pushes through his double woven cloak that he's wearing, or shirt that he's wearing, and you feel this sickening thud as it stabs into his flesh. He turns violently, and you lose the grip on your dagger for a second. You panicked, reach over and grab it and pull it back out, because he is stuck in position. His turn.
Oh, I'm gonna stab him again. It's not his turn.
Go ahead.
19 to hit.
Yeah, and it's a critical to the body. You can't dodge.
Another 6.
Roll.
Roll. Do you want location? 'Cause I didn't
No,
call
it's
it.
to the body.
Oh.
Okay, so 6, and then the crit. What did you get? 19.
19.
So it was 9 over. So roll 2d6 more.
He's gonna do some damage. 12 total.
Okay. So you stab, and then you pull the dagger out. You stab again. You see face to face with him that he takes these wounds and he grimaces, but he doesn't cry out in pain. He does drop to one knee, however, looking up at you with his hands bound. He's dropped his axe. On his turn, he tries to yank you down into the ground. Roll a physique check, or no, brawling check for me. You both went,
We're short.
27.
Oh my
God.
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
So
Boss is on a
she's strong.
roll tonight.
you plant yourself, and your muscles are corded and bulging at this point as you're holding him in place as he starts to pull, and then he just yells out, "Ah!" and he twists, and you get pulled right beside him and lose your grip for just long enough to where he can wrench himself out of it. He then grabs you and slams you into the ground. The amount of strength that this man possesses is immense. But as he slams you into the ground, he slips a little bit and falls beside you. Both of you currently combat useless as you're scrambling to get back up. Felix.
Is there any
Oh, sorry. It is you first.
is there any advantages to hitting someone prone?
No, there are no disadvantages either. Not really.
Advantages.
Yeah, advantages.
I
Just hitting someone.
I look beside me and I put my hand in his face, casting Ard to stun him.
Ooh, okay. Go ahead and roll your spellcasting check. Quick clarification. You said Ard. Did you mean Axie?
So
Axie stone.
Ard is the air blast.
Ard.
That's what you're attempting to do?
Okay, I meant to just stun him in
Stun is
place.
Yeah,
Axie.
no, yeah.
I mean,
No,
you could technically just.
yeah.
just knock the wind out of him as he's on the ground. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
the effect might still happen. I was just wondering which spell it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was a 21.
So
Okay.
Ard.
Yes.
So
It's like
you
knocking it
palm
back.
his face and just cast Ard, and
Pinned?
laying on the ground, he goes flying like a pinwheel, tumbling side over side across the ground about 15 feet, and just lays still, his head twisted back in this really uncomfortable, probably broken position, and he's just not moving.
I get to my feet.
What do you do?
Go stab him in the neck.
So the boy runs over to Bald. Bald is laying there. His neck looks twisted. You can see this blue abrasion that has already appeared. And you just run over and just stab him.
I told you she was gonna kick your ass. I go for his throat.
Something slightly alarming about his lack of
Empathy?
empathy in this situation.
He tried to grab me.
He's down. Is there any way I can stop him?
Not
Yeah.
really.
This is his turn? I don't know.
I mean, you can
He's
yell out on your
down.
turn. I'll hesitate.
As I'm back to my feet. Yes, this man meant to take you, but we can be better than that.
I kick him.
Deserved kick.
He's definitely dead.
He
It takes a second, but as you realize that his head is facing in a direction it kind of shouldn't be, the angle of his neck, he's dead.
I don't think he's gonna get up.
Nope.
Oh, I told him you were gonna kick his ass.
We kicked his ass.
He should have listened.
The
Why do you
pain in
wanna
your
take
lip
me?
comes back as the adrenaline starts to fade.
Is that blood? Man, he slapped me pretty good.
To slap a child.
Back with the other group. You'd been escorted through Scala up the hill. At the edge of the walls of the fort. Not a very large fort. The walls themselves stretched out from end to end, probably only 120 feet in length entirely. Inside the fort, there are a couple small buildings. One looks like a small barracks of some sort, and then this large manor house built in the Lyrian style of the river folk that came before. It's got these large peaked roofs with these nice engraved scenes of large fish along the top of the or just under the roof on the lining of the walls. At the gateway of the fortress, Lord Rensis turns and not Lord Rensis, sorry, Captain Rensis turns and looks at you. Milady, if you would seek comfort, I can get you a room in the village, but unfortunately the fortress is no place for the likes of someone as noble as yourself.
No, I quite agree. Thank you. What was the inn that we were staying at? Was it the Rat's Rest?
Yes, it is the only inn in the village.
Oh, I was going to say it wasn't very lovely, but if that's what you have, then we will most certainly stay there another night. Unfortunately, I believe I may have misplaced my bag. That bear.
Your what?
My bag. I don't think that I have any gold to stay at the inn tonight. Do you?
No, I will provide. Simply let them know that you are under my protection.
You are too kind.
We really appreciate it. Truly, thank you.
I was so very lucky to have found you when we did.
Yes, I'm glad I was there. But you are safe now. Don't worry, and we will do as we must with these criminals.
What was their crime?
They were harboring a fugitive.
A fugitive?
Yes.
In this town?
Which one of them is the fugitive?
It is a boy that is missing, actually.
Well, I saw no boy with either of them.
Yes.
But
There's another woman out there, too. Perhaps they are still evading us, but we will find them.
And you know that these two were most certainly harboring them.
There were enough inconsistencies in their stories, and I may have been a bit rash on arresting them, but...
Well, I think you
It's out
must have been.
my hands now, though. Lord Ramir will handle this.
Yes, well, I would love an audience with him. It would be wonderful if we could tell them what a wonderful job that you did assisting us in the forest.
Of course, I shall let him know, and we can summon you from the Rat's West whenever you are
Cleaned up?
decent. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be wonderful. We need a bath.
I taught us all two. Maybe
Of
three.
course, yes.
But thank you so much for your kindness. We most certainly appreciate this.
Oh, absolutely.
So he takes your hand and he goes, I will do anything for you, milady. And he kisses your hand and lets your touch kind of linger as you start to walk away.
It's nice to thank you.
Yes, of course. And he turns and walks into the fort. You two in tow.
Nadia's my sister, the one
your
with the
cart has
pretty
been
face.
pulled into
It's
the
whatever,
fortress as
I'll be
well,
the
and
brains.
then wheeled off to the side. The horses have been stabled inside the fort. Into this large manor, the captain and a couple other people lead you inside. The walls are a sort of dark mahogany, and you smell burning cedar, and it's comfortable in here. The temperature and everything, the lighting is also fairly nice. The windows are facing towards the both the rising and setting sun as necessary. And you see a small staff scurrying about, working on this or that. They lead you down this room, and then outside the back of the manor, and there's a small stone building with with an iron gate on the front. They open these doors and politely walk you inside. And then after they close the gate, you can place your hands through and they can take off your manacles. Lord Rensis at this point has completely vanished.
Are we in the same cell or
Yes,
near each other?
the same building. So they unlock your manacles, and one of the soldiers goes, "Meal will be in about an hour.
Can't wait.
Hope you like stale bread." Turns and walks away.
Well, this escalated quickly.
Still alive.
I suppose.
Might have been captured, but we accomplished what we needed to.
Yes, and the girls seem to have smarted their way out of it as well. Depending if we end up seeing him tonight, I may have a way for us to sit here patiently and wait.
Don't mind waiting. I wanted to thank you, too. You did your best back there.
I tried. Unfortunately, I definitely forgot about the witch's horse.
How's your arm feeling?
It's not the worst that has happened, truthfully. It should be fine. You did a pretty good job bandaging it, so it shouldn't kill me overnight.
I'm still learning. I'm not used to seeing to my own wounds.
Of course. No worries. But the question is, what are we going to say to the Lord?
It's a very good question.
Is there any guards nearby?
You can see some out in the fort, like on patrol or walking within earshot. Yes, if you want to yell for one or something, but
Quite the
nobody
opposite.
close enough to. But nobody close enough to really
Yeah.
like pay attention to what's going on here, except for occasional wandering patrol.
And then I'm gonna walk up and kind of look around the lock that's holding this gate closed. Is it a sturdy lock or is it just like your standard, just like?
The lock is actually. It looks like it's a dwarven make. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's particularly sturdy or anything, but it is the only type of lock that can be built into a door, and it's built into the metal door itself, the gate.
Do you have a thought?
Yes.
You were caught with illicit goods. Perhaps you were smuggling illicit goods. They obviously don't believe we're lovers.
I tried that and failed. I wish you would have played along better.
I did my best.
Fair enough.
Lying has never been my strong point.
It's an acquired talent. Depending if we get seen tonight, I may be able to pick this lock. It's a thought. Doesn't have
They're
to.
just people. Do we really want to push our luck like that? Become true outlaws?
Depends on the city. There's a few places that doesn't like me, so I mean it's not the first time.
They suspect we were with the boy.
True.
They can't prove it.
Very true.
They seem honorable for the most part. Haven't killed us yet.
That's a good point. And he did. Alright, fair enough.
It seems they have bigger problems.
I'm not worried about the Lord, though. I'm worried about the mage. Because remember the mage that did this to the boy?
Yeah.
He's the mage that's in this keep. I was curious if it was him, but it was. So that is what I'm worried about. I'm worried about what magics he might use to get the truth. Because if the Lord is bewitched, we don't stand much against the mage.
Do they have ways of pulling the truth? I don't know much about them.
Well, Morana was saying she could turn me to a newt, so if that is to be believed, probably.
It's powerful magic.
I'd like to roll a well-traveled check to see what I know about this Lord.
Okay, go ahead.
You know what? Not that bad. Better. 22. Hang on, did I count that right?
Did you?
6, 10. Yep, 22.
You don't know much, which means he's probably not a key player in Lyria at all. This is a small village, a farming village. This close to the river, a farming village is not a fishing village. Kind of tells you the amount of output you're expecting. It's not going to be notable in any way. But even mages at this level can have, or not mages, nobles can have mages, depending on if there are other mages who, haven't amounted to much from Aretusa or Banard.
Okay. Worst case scenario, if he wants to be rude, I can call in a favor. And it will take a while, but we would eventually be free. There's a few people who owe me favors that would be above his standing.
How well guarded is this keep?
You're guessing that the 16 soldiers on the road with you were 2/3, if not more, of the entire garrison. There aren't a lot of people here. I mean, they're all pretty active right now, but they're not very high trained or disciplined. You can see them, leaning against a wall, chatting with each other, or one of them's training over off to the side. But yeah, at most maybe 25.
And at the moment, they're desperately searching for this boy.
Yeah, actually, within about 20 minutes, you see another group of about 10 leave the fort.
I think we might be in far less danger than our friends.
How so?
Seems the Lord is entirely focused on finding this boy and the mage. They know we're up to something, but they don't know what.
That's true. Generally, if he's a lord here, he'll want to increase his standing. I could very easily give him some information he may need to coerce a favor here and there in the courts.
Really?
I know a bit about everyone. That's my primary trade. I sell knowledge, generally.
Any plan you have is better than what I've got.
Well, it'll be more winging it, so in worst case scenario, we die a horrible death today. Which hopefully doesn't happen.
Worst case.
Best case scenario, we get to walk sometime, hopefully later today. Or in the evening, if it's a late viewing.
Later today.
So
would
we
be
wait?
evening, but yeah,
We
go on.
depressingly wait. And I don't have my hat to shield the sun. It's the only thing about this I'm upset about.
There's no sun here.
Well, I guess we wait patiently. Hopefully the stale bread has been salted.
With tears.
And
All right.
at least it would be somewhat less crunchy.
Back in
I don't think you know what salt does to
the
things.
Rat's Rest, you easily procured a room without even questioning you when you mentioned that the captain was vouching for you. He put you up, put you back in the old room that Marana was in. You end up in the only suite that exists in the tavern. It is nicer than the other room. It's one more floor up, and it looks like at one point it was supposed to be the tavern keeper's room. But looking at his age and size, he probably got tired of walking up 3 flights of stairs. But he gets you set up in the room, and a bath is being run for you when a gentle knock rings out on your door.
Yes, hello.
On the other side, yes, ma'am. I'm here to summon you to the manor.
Oh, wonderful. I open the door, and at this point I've changed into, I have, I don't want to say like a ball gown, but like a very nice, noble getup.
Okay.
So I'm dressed appropriately for a court.
Did you lend me anything?
I do have some, yeah. Which so we're both dressed very well.
Okay.
We're dressed nicely. I've applied some makeup and given some to Kara so she can, you know.
So the hardest part about loaning an outfit to Kara is that she is significantly taller than you.
Oh, well.
But you managed to find
It's pretty short.
mix match some stuff to work, and so you are a bit more presentable. And then you're
in multiple ways.
escorted
Girls look
out of the
lovely
Rat's
right
Rest.
now.
Just a single guard.
It's nice and tight.
He's carrying a
It's all
spear,
right
but he's got it
places.
just casually rested against his shoulder. He's wearing what looks like a fairly poorly kept chain shirt, and then just the livery of the Lord, which now up close you can see is a light green, and then there is a yellow fish in a circle on his breast, and he walks you up to the fortress. They slide open the wooden gate and escort you in. The gate stays open as some soldiers are coming and others are leaving. You don't see any sign of the boys Avery and Braum, but you do see that there is a couple horses off to the side stabled, including Koi. You also see his wagon there. Everything looks like it hasn't been touched at all. And you are escorted inside in this beautiful hall. Though small, it's a large manor, but not exactly, it doesn't say nobleman. In a city, this would say fairly well-off merchant. But you walk into this place. Torches have been placed as the in the darker areas that aren't reaching windows. And then a door is open in front of you, and there's a small like feast room, and in there the lord of the manor and the captain are eating and talking. And as you walk in, the lord stands up and he kind of brushes off his face from the food he was eating. He's a large man, not fat or anything, but definitely well fed. You see he's broad-shouldered. He's got a large beard that'll go down to just past his neck, and it's well kept as well. He's got a nice cap on, like those what is it called? Like an Eastern cap that leans over to one side and has the the ball, like a Christmas hat almost. I don't remember what it's called right now. He's got one of that, and it's in his colors. The table is set. It looks like there are 2 spots set for food. And he nods. If you would like, you can sit and dine. I heard you had you wanted an audience.
Yes, it's been quite a day for the two of us, really. We left town.
Dirty, cold.
It has been very cold. Yes. We left town to get some fresh air and were set upon by a very large one-eyed bear. And your captain here, he rescued us quite in the nick of time. I'm not sure what would have become of us. So we told him as repayment for his services and our gratitude that we would love to have a meeting with you to be able to tell you
about the heroics, honestly,
Yes.
of your captain.
Captain Rancis blushes and he kind of stands up. I only did what I thought was necessary to save your subjects, Lord Ramir, as anyone traveling upon your lands is beholden to you. And the Lord says, yeah, well, of course, but either way, we're happy to have helped. I am sorry that I couldn't have dealt with this bear sooner. It has been a nuisance. Perhaps Bald has handled it. Has he returned yet? Francis is like, no, my lord, he is not. Well, I'm sure he will, or the bear will escape, as it always has. Anyway, enjoy the food. That's a pheasant.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Yes, and the greens were provided, of course, by my farmers.
Well, it's quite lovely. It's a
It
beautiful
looks
spread.
beautiful, honestly. Better than we've had in a long time, thank you.
It's food. It's nice to have women in the manor at all, though I haven't had any since my wife passed.
I'm sorry to hear that, but
It's all right. She was a bitch.
I'm sorry to hear that as well.
Thank you. She did not bear me any sons, or daughters for that matter, but it's okay. I suppose I can adopt. I have no interest in remarrying.
Well, yes, I'm most certain that you could find someone who would be a very suitable heir. And what a beautiful providence that you have as well.
I think it kind of smells.
Well, you know, a dear friend of mine has a wonderful trick. It's orange peels and lavender. You just toss it right in the fire, and it apparently keeps wolves away as well. I don't know if I can vouch for that, but it does smell absolutely lovely.
It's
Right.
an acquired taste here, so I've heard.
The smell.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing in town?
Yes, now that is a wonderful question. So my companion and I am a fur trader from Kovir. We came down to the south, but we had this wonderful, wonderful arrangement, or array rather, of ermine scarves for the ladies. Well, we were very fortunate. We sold the majority of them, well, all of them, really. Well, how long would you say that took us? Hardly any time. I would say maybe 2.5 weeks? 3 weeks, maybe.
3 weeks,
3 weeks,
3
yes.
weeks plus some change, maybe.
But we walked all the way down to, oh gosh, what was that village called?
The one with the two wells. I think there were
Yeah,
two
there were
wells.
2 wells. Yes. But regardless, we were very fortunate. We sold the majority of our stock. But
Honestly, it was amazing. It was
Yeah.
got
How
a
many wells
wonderful
does this-
experience.
It
We're
was-
just
it was-
on our way back.
During all of this, he had sat down and was listening, and he started fiddling with his fork a little bit, and He's nodding and trying to be polite, but clearly does not care. And then suddenly, with all of the rambling, he just stands up and walks out in the oddest manner, without a word. He walks right out of the room, and Captain Rancis looks after him, and then you see, as the Lord leaves, another man walks in.
Was this something we said?
The other man that walks in is tall, probably 6'4", 6'5", wiry. He's got short, well-kept orange hair and a small goatee. He's wearing a nice doublet, green and white. And as he enters the room, he speaks in a deep voice. I had heard there was possibly another mage in town. And I do sense magic in this room. I am Drevetti of Cidaris.
Drevetti, it is very lovely to make your acquaintance, but I don't know that I would go so far as to call myself a mage.
I don't care. Where is the boy? Till next Saturday.